Takes a snap, fakes the hand, rolling out. He wants it, goes deep, and it's caught. A great catch in the first down, still on his feet, gets shoved out of bounds at about the 4-yard line. Wow, the guts Coach Buzz has to go for it on that position of the field.
Welcome to Crown Point Stadium and welcome to Game Night presented by CPTV Sports here on the Bulldog Network. I'm Gabe Trevino and with me is Braydon Zamojski. If you're a CP fan, stick around because in addition to pregame coverage, we'll be heading up to the booth in just 1 hour to bring you the entire CP versus LaPorte football game live precisely at 7 p.m. on the Bulldog Network. Everything you'll see tonight is produced by the students of the radio and TV program at Crown Point High School. But right now, it's time to prepare for tonight's game. We have another conference matchup at stake tonight between your 6-0 Crown Point Bulldogs and the 2-4 LaPorte Slicers. On tonight's show, in just a minute, we'll have Bulldogs head basketball coach Clint Swan. Along with him, we will also have CP class of 2026 and University of Illinois Chicago commit Dikembe. In our second segment, we'll sit down with the new head girls flag football coach Gabby Argenta and two of her players, Allison, Hase and Breanna Dominguez, to discuss what it means to have a new emerging sport. And for our third and final segment, Braydon and I will break down tonight's keys to the game. So, let's get started. We are grateful to have CP basketball head coach Clint Swan and Dikembe here at the desk with us. Thank you guys for being here. So an upcoming basketball season starts with these guys in just a few months, starting in early December.
Guys, how we doing?
Great, Coach Swan.
Doing
it's
good,
good to
Coach.
have you guys. Good to have you guys. All right, we'll start with you, Coach Swan. You've built a community here where Crown Point, it's a proud basketball program. I think for a lot of the last few years it's been football, but I think basketball has really gotten its respect. How have you built that program over the last few years?
Well, I think that just the overall athletic program here and the overall community helps bring that across. I think that I can't speak for Dikembe, but I think he would agree with me that we see what the other programs are doing, particularly football, and what they've done the last few years. And I think that they've kind of shown the other athletic programs here what's possible, what can be done. And I think we all kind of feed off of each other. I think that you see what our other programs are doing, and it becomes the expectation to be successful. So it makes it fun to come out here and come to these games and see these unbelievable crowds. And we want to emulate that and be a part of that too.
Now Dikembe, Coach Swan has praised your development over 4 years with this program. I want to talk about this offseason in particular. What has been your kind of things that you've been working on compared to your past off seasons?
First of all, I want to thank Coach for giving me the opportunity over the years to showcase my ability and to prove my skill throughout the seasons going on. But over the course of this off season, I've really been focusing on just cleaning up my game, just coming back, being a more complete winner, trying to take it all the way this year. So that's a lot.
Coach, back to you. I think we had a lot of juniors on the team. We only had 2 seniors that graduated last year. I think Dikembe, Mason, Kingston, a lot of those seniors have now stepped up into that senior leadership role that we see every time seniors come through. What do you expect from them in that leadership position?
Well, I think that last year we really missed the 4 seniors from the previous year, right? And then I think that this year we're going to miss Quinn and Kobe, Quinn Bagley and Kobe Hinderlong. I think we're going to miss both of those guys too. I think it's going to be adjustment not having those guys around. But the luxury is in having 6 seniors coming back, 6 seniors who have been through the wars, have been through the battles, and know what it takes to win on the road. Knows what it takes to win in front of a packed house, and they've kind of they're kind of taken the torch from those previous senior classes and are leading the way that those previous groups have led, and it's been good so far here in the fall, and hopefully it continues. Dikembe,
Coach Swan just mentioned the wars you've been through. I want to know, through all of that, what's one important lesson that you've taken away from your time here at Crown Point that you're going to take with you when you go to UIC next year?
Really just being together with a team, kind of just, regardless of bad or the situation good, really just keeping a poker face, as Coach would say. You know, over the years, we've been through so many situations, whether we're down, going to halftime, we're down, going to the fourth quarter, and just knowing that it's still time left on the clock to perfect that. So really just keeping a poker face, like Coach would say.
Now, Coach, a little bit of a end-of-career question, which I don't know if you get those often. But when you ultimately step away from the game of basketball, the job you've done it in training here at Crown Point has been incredible. What do you hope your legacy to be when you step away from the game of basketball?
I'm not good at summing up those kinds of things. I'll leave it up to guys like you to do that. I think one thing that coaching has taught me is just try to be in the moment as much as possible and enjoy the here and now. And I'm really lucky that late in my career, I get to coach guys like this and the other 5 seniors that we have and the returners that we have, and I get to enjoy it and coach a really good team. And as far as how I'm going to be remembered, I think that we've had some really good teams. I think we've had a lot of success, and I think our guys have gotten to experience some cool atmospheres, and let that be the legacy, and just that our guys played hard and did things the right way, and hopefully we can do it for at least another year here.
Now, Coach Swan, I might bring up a little bit of a sore subject here, but at the start of your career in 1998, 1999, and 2000, when at your time with Andrean in 98, your team lost the morning semi-state game. In 99, you won the morning game, then lost that night game, and then in 2000, you made it to state where you lost to a very, very talented Red Roof Jesuit team. There's a bit of a mirror going on. 2 years ago, you lost to Fishers in the morning game. Last year, you beat Homestead, then lost to Fishers. Have you thought about that kind of similarity from the beginning of your career, and do you think that you guys could get to the mountaintop in that state championship this year with your guys, with Dikembe, with Mason, as your seniors this year?
Well, you guys do too much homework for you guys to know that. Yeah, but that is true. My first 3 years as a head coach, we took another step, starting with the morning game of the semi-state, then the evening game of the semi-state, and then the state championship game the following year. And I would be lying if I said that has not occurred to me. I have noticed that similarity, and the good news is we do have a group of guys who are capable of taking that next step, and we're lucky to have them here, and hopefully we can try to do that this season.
And then, Kembe, I've got a question for you about your career as well as I just asked Coach Swan. What do you hope your lesson that you take away when you go away from Crown Point and go to UIC? What do you want your lesson to be when you step away from Crown Point?
Really just to be a winner. But off the court, Coach has taught me and the rest of my teammates a lot of things of togetherness and how to finish something as a group, as we would say. So I really just want to be. I wanted to leave Crown Point in a better spot than where it was before I came, and now I just want to win state. So off the court, kind of really just want to keep that same winning mentality with me.
Now, question for both of you. We ask every guest that comes onto this show, but for this game in particular, Crown Point versus LaPorte, Bulldogs versus Slicers, who takes the game tonight?
I've never been to a game where Crown Point lost to LaPorte, so I hope we get this one, our homecoming night. So it means special to the guys.
We're almost to the point with our football program. It's not who wins or loses; it's at what point is the opposing team put on a running clock. But we'll see how it goes tonight. I would say that I definitely like our chances any time that we're playing, and seriously. It has to be pointed out what's been done in this football program these last few years. These kids are also lucky. It reminds me of going to a college where you win so much in football and basketball, and these guys get to come out and see this unbelievable football team play. And I think I'm hoping again tonight. It's a lot to not very many.
Thanks, Coach Swan. Thank you to Dikembe for being on the show. Coming up next after this break, a conversation with head coach of girls flag football, Gabby Argenta, Allison, Hase, and Breanna Dominguez here at the desk. Keep it here on Game Night.
Generations of family, faith, and community are at the heart of Dutch Farms. Based in Chicago for nearly 40 years, we work hard to bring you a full line of fresh, high-quality products fast. Like eggs that go from farm to shelf in 24 to 48 hours. That's freshness you can trust. And it's all part of our family tradition of quality.
The main goal of this restaurant is to provide the community with something that's incredibly different than anywhere else that's available. Provecho is about community. The most important thing about Provecho here is the family that we've created. It's about time spent together, eating together, that feeling of camaraderie when we share food together. That's what we try and do in every aspect of what we do here. One part of the restaurant is all seated, it's all communal dining. So you sit together at larger tables. You may be sitting with people from different areas, different walks of life, and some people end up sharing food together, but the conversation is what's important. That's what Provecho means.
The team that we have here is amazing. So once you come into this restaurant, it's not only from the food and the entirely different cuisine that we have, it's just the people and the smile, and it makes you just feel like you're at home. You're at home. In a different country.
Anytime somebody tries something different and likes that style or cuisine and enjoys something and learns something new, those are the dishes that are my favorite, because I think it's important to expand culture and diversity in oneself. So I think it's really an awesome opportunity to serve something a little bit different.
They picked a very good site when they chose in Crown Point, because Crown Point is a beautiful town anyway, but around the square like this, the square is a hub of a multi-generational opportunity where they can educate. So their whole mission statement is about educating us to educate the public. They want to restore the way that you go out to dinner.
The menu's inspiring, I think, because we're changing it so often. We have a partnership with Five Hands Farm in Lowell. We sat down early in this winter and we chose all of our seeds that we're growing this summer, so we're trying to create this partnership, just this whole work of sustainability and how we should take care of our community. I think that it's inspiring because the menu changes so frequently to provide that habitat here. I mean, we're changing things on the daily. Whatever Nash has got from the farm is what I'm going to put on the menu. Whatever's tasting fresh, whatever's whatever he has the most of and the best quality is what we're going to be serving.
The tacos were awesome, very tasty. I think the size is perfect. My husband and I shared. A restaurant like this, I think you could find up north in Chicago, like Lincoln Park area. So it's nice to have something like that in Northwest Indiana.
Oh, it's a great way to enjoy friends and share, different cultural cuisines and see what people enjoy, see what they like. Not everybody's gonna like octopus, but it gives you an opportunity to try it.
I think the service here is absolutely wonderful. There's not a lot of places where your waitress is as knowledgeable as she is with everything, from the time we sat down until we're still ordering, and she still keeps giving us awesome information. So she's amazing.
A lot of variety, flavor's great, the atmosphere is great too, but we just love being here.
Football season was no exception. The Lady Bulldogs started 1-4 and ended up winning 5 straight, winning by an average margin of 16.8 points to finish the regular season with a record of 6-4, and they will head to Michigan City to play sectionals next Saturday. With that, We are so glad that we have the privilege of having head coach Gabby Argenta, quarterback Allison Hase, and cornerback Breanna Dominguez here on Game Night. Guys, thank you for being on the show. Coach, I'd like to start with you. You've had previous coaching experience here at Crown Point. How has that coaching experience helped you launch a new program here?
I've been extremely lucky to have worked under some amazing coaches here at Crown Point High School with Allison Duncan and the girls volleyball program, Pete Usich, the girls softball coach who won state in 2017 for the first time for our program's history, and they've just given me lots of wisdom and knowledge throughout the years. In 2023, I started the boys volleyball team, so have some experience starting a program from nothing, from the ground up, and just a lot of experience coaching lots of different types of students, lots of different types of sports.
Allison, I want to kind of break down your position here. Quarterback is normally a place of leadership on a football team. How have you kind of stepped into that role in the first year of a program?
I think I've made communication a big thing. You know, as a leader, the people on the team need to know that they can trust you on and off the field. And I've tried to make that one of the biggest things here on girls flag football. My faith is also very important to me. You know, just leading the way as Jesus did with love, encouragement, and putting others first has been very important.
Coach, we'll go back to you. Challenges come with every new season, every new sport. What was an unexpected challenge you ran into this season?
One unexpected challenge was the lack of resources when researching flag football and trying to find drills and different things to throw at the girls during practice. And there's just not a lot out there. And the girls make fun of me when I'm talking about, I found this drill on TikTok. And they think it's so funny that I'm on TikTok looking up flag football drills. Also, just the constant rule changes we've been having throughout the year. It's a brand new sport. Everybody's learning. They're figuring out that some things work, some things don't. And the first couple of weeks, we had some rules. They're like, all right, this is the new rule for it. And this is how, we're going to interpret this rule. So that was a lot the first couple of weeks getting started.
So a question for both of you girls now. Beyond your wins and losses of this year, what kind of impact do you guys hope you have on this program as a first-year team?
I'm hoping that it'll influence other student athletes to come join flag football, because I think that our team, since it's being brand new, we're encouraging other girls to come play and make an influence in the future of flag football, and just kind of starting something new. And I think it has great potential to be a great sport in this school.
I really hope that girls flag football can contribute to the standard of how we carry ourselves here at Crown Point High School. That, with teamwork, enthusiasm, and passion, that you can achieve great things if you work as a team.
And then for all three of you, what's been the most memorable moment of this first season of girls flag football?
I'm going to go ahead and say, because I know what they're going to say, our Hanover game where we were coming off of a couple-game losing streak, and we made a quarterback change. We switched some receivers and running backs around, and we came out and had a really big win. It was kind of the turning point for our season and showed our girls that they can do this. Really was a little push and a drive for them to kind of kickstart what we called the second half of our season. And so I'd probably go with that one, yeah.
For me, it was definitely our win against Valparaiso. It kind of symbolized the entire season, starting off a little rocky, but then really finding ourselves and proving ourselves to be that mold of a great football team.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing as Valpo, because we started off kind of rocky with that. We were losing down, but then the second half, I don't know, it was just a change in everyone's eyes where they were we want to win, because we knew Valpo was going to be a little bit more of a challenging team, and that's when we kind of got it together, and we played really well. I've never seen us play that good, and I have this new confidence instilled in us that we can do almost anything, and I think we're going to win sectionals.
So I want to ask you girls kind of what it means to be part of this first group and important players on this first team. Do you guys carry a sense of pride in that, or what kind of feelings go through you, especially when you're stepping onto the field playing each game?
I definitely think so. I'm very hopeful that in the future this girls flag football team can, look back on the pace setters. I'm just very blessed to have the funding and all the opportunities here at Crown Point to be able to play the sport that I love.
Yeah, I completely agree. I am a little proud because it's we're setting the stage for the upcoming classes, and I hope that we can be a great role models for them for the upcoming seasons that they have.
And Coach, back to you. I just want to get your thoughts. When you eventually step away from Crown Point, which hopefully won't be for a while because you're doing an excellent job here, what do you hope this program turns into here at Crown Point?
I mean, I think this program has endless possibilities. All the programs here at Crown Point High School, we have some of the best facilities in the state. We have some of the best athletes in the state, and we have a community that backs us up. And it just really leaves the opportunity open for this team to go, as far as we possibly can imagine. And we hope to be a team who can be like our basketball team, our volleyball teams, softball, soccers, who are sometimes the best in the state, and they're always in that running. And that's definitely where I can see this program going.
All right, last question for all three of you. The question that we ask every guest on game night, your game night pick, Crown Point or LaPorte. Who do you guys have tonight?
Crown Point.
Crown Point, definitely.
100%.
Well, we thank you guys for being on the show. Thank you to Coach Argenta. Thank you to Allison and Breanna. After our final timeout, we break down tonight's matchup and give you our keys of the game. Keep it here on Game Night.
At Crown Point High School, we are a connected community. The larger we grow, the stronger we become, because at our core are values that guide us.
What does it mean to be part of our Bulldog community?
It means courage, facing adversity head on, leading with grit, and knowing that every setback is a step forward.
Crown Point taught me not to be afraid to try something new.
It means creativity, from center stage to classroom labs. It is where passion meets purpose and innovation takes shape. Bulldogs bring ideas to life. It means citizenship, giving back, lifting others, building a stronger community together.
Our students learn that leadership begins with service.
It means culture, every story, every background, every voice, adding to our shared experience. It means being future ready, with more than 20 career pathways, 60 dual credit and AP courses, and preparation for college, career, or service.
I know Crown Point is helping me get where I want to go.
And through it all, we stay connected. With more than 75 clubs, sports, and activities, there's a place for everyone. Every classroom, every activity, every team. Woven together into one community. Crown Point High School, where the heart of a Bulldog stays with you, ready to take on the world. Connected at our core.
Back to Game Night on the Bulldog Network. Time to break down tonight's game. A few keys going into this game for the Dogs. The DBs prove they can hang. The D-line has to play better. They have to get to the quarterback. And with a notable size advantage for the offensive line, the run game has to get to the second level. And can Tice Custing, CP's receivers, be trusted as the season goes on? As for the Slicers, offensive line protection is a must. Starting early, as we have said in previous weeks, and the run game for Crown Point has to be slowed down. Let's start with Crown Point, Braydon. Their defense came up with 7 interceptions last week, 5 of them coming from defensive backs, 3 of them from just Dominic Fenton alone. One of them resulted in a touchdown. But we're not going to talk about that one. 3 interceptions for him. Did the DBs prove they can hang last week?
You know, Gabe, I think that stat line, a lot of people look at that, right? That's an eye catcher. But when you look at every play and you look at man-to-man coverage, Sam Bernard, these Valpo receivers were still getting open downfield. I think that downfield the DBs still struggle. I think once they got into the red zone, kind of D-line got pressure on the quarterback. That's another one of our keys to the game. That's when you kind of saw those interceptions start to come. But other than that, I don't believe personally that these DBs have proven themselves, at least for me, yet in this season.
And that's a perfect transition into the defensive line. They've played well all season. They've gotten pressure on the quarterback all season, but they have not gotten to the quarterback. In fact, Josh Daniels had a pick last week on a tipped ball because of pressure. Dominic Fenn, 2 of his interceptions came off of pressure. Oscar Biasi, his came off of pressure. But they're not getting to the quarterback. They're not getting sacks. They're not getting tackled for losses. What do they need to do to get to the quarterback, tackle the quarterback?
I don't know. I think it was really hard with Kellen Hosek last week. We saw a very elusive kid, was able to shift around in the pocket. But I think tonight, this is a statement game for the Bulldogs. I think it is so important that they just work the D-line. I mean, we talked about this size advantage. The average size for the LaPorte D-line is 5'8", 212.5 pounds. Over on Crown Point's O-line, it's 6'1", 257 pounds. So, I mean, that's similar on the defensive side. So for this Crown Point defense to be able to get to the quarterback, it's going to be really important.
And another great transition into Crown Point's offensive line and their run game. They rely on the run game. So my question to you is, quarterback play has not been great so far this season for Crown Point. Tice Custody appears to be the main starter. Cooper Mulaski still getting some reps. We assume Chase Horton's going to get some reps later tonight too. Do you trust Tice Custody? Do you trust the receivers deeper in the season when we come across Fort Wayne teams, when the Bulldogs come across Indy teams? Do you trust them later in the season?
The main thing with these teams is they game prep much better than these DAC opponents. And, I mean, we've seen it in the past years where we try to go to that DAC ground game and it doesn't work. I think Coach Buzz has implemented a good passing structure so far in the year. I like Tice Custody as the main quarterback option. Still a little iffy on his downfield accuracy. We saw that in previous weeks, Maryville, Valpo. But I really like the first down plays, the first down passing plays, second down passing plays from this Crown Point offense. I think is a huge weapon to keep in their back pocket. And if Tice Custody keeps playing the way he does, I think we'll be just fine.
Absolutely. I think Tice Custody's been efficient. I just think maybe the stat sheet isn't blowing up like maybe we thought we've seen in the past few years with Noah Ehrlich. Now let's go to LaPorte. We can kind of tie in two of their keys, starting early in the pass game. Offensive line protection, as I said, is a must to open up that passing game. And we've said with all of Crown Point's opponents, you must start early, try and get out in front of the Bulldogs so they have to throw the ball. Do you think LaPorte can hold up against this defensive line of Crown Point?
We made a conclusion right on this desk about Valpo 1 week ago about their line being small and we were going to dominate them. That was not the case at all. Their O-line held up very well against our pass rush, and I think we might be in for the same story. This is the best LaPorte team that we have seen in years. They beat Lake Central earlier in this year or in the season. And I really think that it's going to be hard for Crown Point to get to the quarterback, but I think it is something that can happen. I think the size advantage is just too great.
Now, LaPorte is 2-4 to start the season here. Most of the time coming into the sixth game of the season, they're 1-5, 0-6, and they're getting blown out every game. So far, they've played well, and I think it's going to be a challenge. One more thing for LaPorte. The run game on defense, they have to stop that for CP. Max Gurnick, Braden Scott, keep them to limited gains. Again, I think the overall key for this game, make Tice Custody win the game.
Yeah, and one thing I will notice, Gabe, is we've seen smash-mouth football from this Crown Point team all year. You'll get a 5-yard gain, 3-yard gain, 4-yard gain, and then Max Gurnick runs in for a 60-yard touchdown. And so I think for LaPorte is just as your defense gets worn down, it's going to be so important for that D-line and those linebackers to keep them contained, keep the box stacked, but also watch that pass game.
Absolutely. Crown Point, LaPorte, that's going to do it for another game night. But stick around as we head up to the booth and prepare you to bring you all the action of tonight's game between the Crown Point Bulldogs and the LaPorte Slicers, starting in about 15 minutes. Thank you to our entire crew behind the scenes, and we will see you in the booth in about 15 minutes on the Bulldog Network.
we test here?
Make sure it's not.
Test.
It's live. That audio's live. Because I can't kill it.
Takes a snap, fakes the handoff, rolling out. He wants to go deep, and it's caught. A great catch in the first down, still on his feet. Gets jumped out of bounds at about the 4-yard line. Wow, the guts Coach Buzz has to go for it on that position of the field.
Welcome to Crown Point football action between your 6-0 Crown Point Bulldogs and the 2-4 LaPorte Slicers, this year's homecoming game. This Bulldog team has not lost to a conference opponent in nearly 4 years, and this LaPorte team, a much improved LaPorte team, improving from no wins last year to 2 this year already with just 6 games in. And we welcome you to the Bulldog Network, the LaPorte Slicers and the Crown Point Bulldogs here getting set to go. I'm Gabe Trevino, and he is Braydon Zamojski. Braydon, a much improved LaPorte team, 2-4 from a no-win season last year to 2 wins by week 6.
Yeah, 2/3 of the season in, and you already pick up 2 wins. One is against a battle-tested Lake Central team, a team that the Bulldogs shut out. So we like to talk about the levels here in the DAC, and they're improving for that lower kind of quality of the DAC, but I don't think they're going to be any match for the Dogs here tonight.
And I think, most Crown Point fans would tend to agree. This Bulldog team, as I said, has not lost to a conference opponent in nearly 4 years. 4 seasons under Coach Buzz, they have not lost to a conference opponent. And the last time they lost, it was a 50-13 loss to the Maryville Pirates, who they beat this year 35-21.
Yeah, ever since kind of that loss, Coach Bazia has almost turned the program around and built a winning mindset here. I mean, we talked on game night to both Coach Gabby Argenta and Coach Clint Swan, respectively. They both kind of had the same thoughts going into their own seasons for playoffs and for the basketball season, and that was that we're here to win, and we will do that.
Well, we welcome you to the Bulldog Network here in beautiful Crown Point, Indiana on a Friday night. The LaPorte Slicers and the Crown Point Bulldogs getting set to go here in this year's homecoming game. To kick off for the Slicers is Conrad Misowich. To kick it off here in the first quarter, the Bulldogs heavy favorites tonight. Can the Slicers pull off the upset? Back to return the normal returners, A.J. Summers, Dominic Fenton, and Griffin Van Tischel. And here we go, and it's going to be an onside kick to start the game. Pile is there. It appeared to be recovered by the Bulldogs at around the 45-yard line. So an early risk for LaPorte. I think I would agree with LaPorte on that decision that they have to do that. They have to run risks. Being a heavy underdog, I think doing that early is a good start for them.
Yeah, one of our keys of the game was start early, and I can't think of a better way to start early than an onside kick on the first play of the game.
So the Bulldog offense getting set to come out onto the field 6-0 so far this year, averaging 36.3 points per game. And as we talked about on game night in our pregame show, 202.5 rushing yards per game. Tice Custody to start at quarterback with Max Gurnick to his left in the backfield. Gurnick will head out in motion. Custy's going to look his way, come back to Caden Smith on the screen. Smith's going to try and break away, and he will gain 11, call it 12, nearly 13 yards. First play, first down into LaPorte territory for the Bulldogs.
I talked a lot on game night about passing situations on first and second down for Coach Bazia in this Crown Point offense, and right away we see there Max Gurnick goes out to the far side of the field. Caden Smith runs a little screen, stays kind of towards the Bulldog sideline, and right there is that money on first down.
And the officials call for a stoppage, and Logan Urbanic's going to come out. It looks like something with his belt. His belt was hanging down. Maybe wasn't totally strapped in, so Caden Smith will come right back in for him. And the officials will run the clock here. So the Bulldogs already in LaPorte territory at the 42. Hand off to Garnick for the first time tonight. Garnick's going to break up into the second level and gain about 5 yards on the play. 2nd and 5 for the Bulldogs.
Another one of our keys to the game for this Bulldog offense was Max Garnick and Braden Scott getting past that second level. And LaPorte, they have a strong defense. Lucas Del Rio, their star middle linebacker, number 9 on the field. He's going to be the one that Braden Scott and Max Garnick are going to have to work the hardest to get past.
And Max Garnick has had a great year. Yards per carry, Braden, I'm reading off of here, 7.3 yards per carry. It's almost unheard of, even in high school football. Custody to throw here, pressure. He's going to throw a screen to Garnick. Garnick leaps up, makes the catch, and gets across the 35. We're going to mark him right at the 35, 3rd and short for the Bulldogs coming up.
Gabe, one thing I'm noticing on that play, there's a LaPorte player, number 99, Lucas Marshall, their defensive tackle, who has an entire forehead of paint chipped off of his helmet. 1, a key identifier for who he is, and 2, I think that just shows how strong and hard of a player he is. 7 weeks into football, it's front of paint chipped off his helmet.
36 tackles for him so far. A.J. Summers in the game at Wildcat, and the flag is thrown before the ball can be snapped. Waiting the call from our official, who's headed over to the Crown Point sideline to talk to Coach Buzz. Defensive coordinator on LaPorte's side, is Grant Seaberg, trying to limit this Crown Point running game, as we said in the pregame, Brady.
Yeah, that's going to be important for them to do, because this is what makes Crown Point, at least this year.
Encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So that'll back
Correct down.
That's actually going to be on the Slicers, initially called on Crown Point. I was just about to say 3rd and 8 now. 1st and 10 from just at the 30-yard line. Garnick back in at running back. Custody going to go to him. Garnick's going to go right up the middle, slicing through the Slicers defense, and a gain of 7 on the play.
I like the word played there, Gabe, and this is exactly what I talked about with Max Garnick. He'll get 6 yards, 5 yards on 1st and 2nd down, and then now you're seeing manageable 2nd and 3rd downs, which I think kind of carries into the Bulldogs' 3rd down efficiency this year, which has been very well.
And I think that's what we talked about in the pregame. LaPorte's got to limit those gains, those constant 6 5-yard gains. Trevor Gibbs subbing into the game for the first time tonight at tight end. Alex Rodriguez comes in motion. Now he's going to go around on a sweep, a fake sweep. Cussey's going to look to throw. He has Max Garnick wide open, and Garnick on the wheel route will score for the first time tonight. Garnick with number 9 on the year, his 3rd receiving TD. Touchdown Bulldogs, and a great start for this Bulldog offense.
Coach Bazia likes to cook up some trick plays here and there, and this one just totally had the Slicers defense lost. Looked like they needed a map out there on defense.
So Oliver Brewer still out with what was confirmed an injury. We don't know where. We assume his leg, knowing he can't kick, but we do not know where.
The kick is good. The score, the Bulldogs 7.
Carson Cavalcante, the DB for these Bulldogs, an impressive kind of season for him. He had an interception, 2 interceptions of the season, 1 last week against Valpo, and he has been the 2nd cornerback along with his partner Oscar Biazzi.
Freshman, he's booting these all the way. He booted one for a touchback last week. It was incredible to see. Pretty small kid, young kid, come up kind of on a late notice with Brewer being out. He's kicked really well so far.
Yeah, and he's very noticeable on the screen, number 34, no nameplate on his jersey. I think he's the only one on this Crown Point team. He ended up having to switch his number, which was previously 18. Obviously, Crown Point quarterback Cooper Mulaski already took that, so he switched to 34, and now he's playing some varsity time.
Officials bringing out the ball to get this kickoff going, so the Bulldogs opening drive, minutes and 47 seconds for about 55 yards. Max Garnick with his 3rd receiving touchdown on the year. 9 total for him, having a great season. And reminder, ladies and gentlemen, this kid is just a sophomore, Max Gernick is. And now we will get to see the LaPorte Slicers offense next. Wagner to kick this one off. From the 40, Wagner is going to kick this one deep all the way down to around the 10-yard line. Not as deep as we've seen, but still a good kick from him. Return comes to the outside by Reed Raymond, and he will get out across the 30. And a flag is down right inside of the hashes near the 23-yard line. And on the Slicers on the return.
We're going to get the call from the referee.
Return. Holding. Return team. 10-yard penalty from inside of the bounds. First down.
So the Slicers will be called for holding on that play. So they will be taken back 10 yards to start their drive. Looks to be on the 20-yard line.
The Slicers officials still spotting the ball, walking back to around the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 15 is where they will start with Aiden Penziel, their starting quarterback. I think the guy we have to look out for tonight is Reed Raymond, Braydon, in the backfield. 1st and 10. They're going to go to the throw, and officials stop the play. Flag is down.
Encroachment. Defense. 5-yard penalty.
So first play on offense for the Slicers, and it's going to be a penalty on the Bulldogs.
Yeah, so encroachment one way and then almost instantly encroachment back the other way. And so now the Slicers will get almost a lucky break here on their first play of the game.
So they get a free 5 yards to start, 1st and 10 from the 20. They will go to Raymond here, and he's going to get stuffed by that red wall. I think based off that first play, Braydon, we can see they saw this guy on tape and said, we have to stop him.
Yeah, the Bulldogs. I talked about that DAC kind of game prep, and this is.
For an injury.
And we have an injured Slicer down on the field. Not a good sight to see, but go ahead, Braydon.
Yeah, so we talk about that DAC game prep we talked about on game night, where these Indy schools, Fort Wayne schools, are just better at it. And I think Crown Point kind of fits in as an odd ball in that group, where I think we can relate to those Indy schools and those Fort Wayne schools, and that we can game prep. We do game prep really well, and I think that's just one of the strengths that Coach Bazia has this year and in his past 5 years with the team.
Yeah, and I think I totally agree. By the way, Reed Raymond, the 6'3", 210-pound junior, he's averaging almost 120 yards rushing per game, about 5.8 yards per carry. Not as good as Max Gernick in that stat, but man, 120 a game, that's going to be a hard beast to stop.
Yet another team here in the DAC that runs a smash mouth look. We saw Maryville do that with their duo of running backs. Valpo, they were different. They went more of an air raid kind of pro-style look. But it looks like we're back in DAC football with a run-heavy offense with the Slicers.
So Luis Orsonio is now the new center, coming in for an injured Julian Ruiz for the Slicers. 2nd and 7. They're going to go to Raymond here. He's going to go right up the gut, and he's going to gain about 8 yards on the play. He's going to pick up LaPorte's first down of the night.
Now, in the same way that our key to the game for Crown Point was getting to the second, or not allowing, the running backs getting past the secondary, I think for LaPorte, it's the same thing, but with guys like Trevor Gibbs, Garrett Ortiz, this secondary is a lot harder to penetrate. But, I mean, I think if anyone is up to the task, it's Reed Raymond.
LaPorte offensive line from left to right, Kai Hernandez, Bryce Fain, Julian Rees, who just went out with an injury, replaced by Luis Orsonio, Matt Swider, and Gianmarco Garcia. 1st and 10 from the 26. Back to throw is Penziel, going to look down the sideline, has a lot of time, throws outside. Tough throw. Was the catch made? It was. What a catch out on the sideline by Kalen Matsk. Wow, what a catch out there, Braydon.
Carson Cavalcante was covering him in man coverage, just got beat to the outside, and he tried to jump on that route and get the interception, try to get a hand in there, just unable to, and so that results in a big play for the Slicers.
So 1st and 10 from the 37. Another 11-yard pickup for the Slicers. Matz with his first catch of the night. He's got 117 yards on the season. Now it's going to be a keep here by Penziel, and nothing's there. Mark Gonzalez will be there on the tackle with Amir Plowden and his man Trevor Gibbs right there to help him out.
Mark Gonzalez, a player who went out early last season with an injury, didn't play almost his entire junior year. So for him to come in here as a senior, a big leader for this Bulldogs defense, he's going to be a key player here in this one.
So a negative play here for the Slicers for the first time tonight. Braydon, I'm noticing only one wide receiver so far in the only formation LaPorte's ran, with I believe 3 tight ends out there, and of course a running back. Penziel to throw here. He is pressured, and Ben Clark is there with Amir Plowden, Josh Daniels, everybody there to take down Penziel, and there we go, Braydon. The defense getting to the quarterback.
It was a Bulldog party in the backfield, and just pressure. It was probably our biggest key to the game on defense, and then that is it successfully shown right there.
So 3rd and about 19, or as the great Mira Fernandez would say, 3rd in a Walmart parking lot. About, I would say maybe 3rd and 20 plus is a Walmart parking lot. We can call this, what, 3rd and a country mile, Braydon?
Yeah, I would give it a country mile, maybe the Crown Point High School parking lot, something along those lines would be kind of.
So 2 wide receivers out. Penziel is going to roll out. He's going to throw. He's going to hit his man right in his hands, and it is incomplete. Cameron McCarthy could not make the catch, and it's 4th and long for the Slicers early.
Ben Clark getting his hand out there, tipping that ball up almost into the hands of Oscar Biasi, who dove to try to make the play on the ball. That's something this defense is very excellent at, catching tips down and tip drill balls off of interceptions.
Jack Borelli to punt this one away for the Slicers. His long of the year, 53 yards, Braydon, pretty good for him. Borelli's going to boot this one away, and a great punt here. It's going to back up Fan. It's going to back up Van Tischel. It's going to get a great LaPorte roll all the way down inside the 10, and that's where it will stop, right at the 9-yard line. What a punt from Jack Borelli. Special teams playing so pretty good so far. Offense and defense, maybe not so much.
They call special teams the special players, and I think we see why right there. But on the other side, I don't think the Bulldogs, Caden Smith, some of those other returners are too worried about that ball being down at the 10-yard line. I think, honestly, from what I've seen this season, the Dogs are more comfortable when they're back in their own zone.
So the Bulldogs do start deep inside their own half at the 9-yard line. Went about 55 yards on the opening drive. They're going to have to go almost double that length, and Custy's going to throw on the first play of the drive. He's going to hit his man Gurnick. Gurnick going to take a hit, but not after a 12-yard gain, and Gurnick already with 2 receptions for big yardage.
Max Gurnick is being used in a different way than he has been so far this season. The first 6 weeks, he was our guy to ground and pound, break past lines, using his big frame, 6'1" as a sophomore. But now we see him kind of swinging out, used more as a receiving back. This could be deadly, Gabe.
6'1", 195, and again, a sophomore, as Braydon just said, still has at least, hopefully, 3 more years in this program, including this year. They're going to give it to him on this play. Nothing is there. Good play by the LaPorte defensive line. Isaiah Armstrong and Carlos Calderon are right there to make the tackle. 2nd and 9.
That looks more like the Max Gurnick kind of play style we've seen. And this is the chunk plays that the Bulldogs are happy with, right? That play on first down, excuse me. Coach Bazia is not upset about that. I mean, that's exactly what he wants.
And maybe this gets Crown Point into a passing situation we've seen them pick up, like you said, 5-6 yards on first down. They don't have to throw on 2nd down. Maybe they do here. Custy in the gun. Gurnick's going to go out in motion. He will throw here on 2nd and 9. Custy has time, throws down the middle of the field. Gibbs takes a hit. He makes the catch. Gibbs is going to rumble inside the 50. Still going, and he's taken down by Jack Borelli. Good tackle, but not after a gain of about 35 from Trevor Gibbs, all the way inside LaPorte territory.
Trevor Gibbs, 6'4", 245 pounds. The IU commit shows exactly why he's committed to play Big Ten ball there. Has a guy almost hanging on his back like a backpack. and he still goes up, catches that ball, breaks that tackle, and then proceeds to run down the field for massive yardage.
That was Joe Meyer that came up and hit him a little early. Gibbs still makes the catch. Borelli takes him down. Gurnick will go play action here over the middle. Caden Smith wide open, and he's going to get out across the 25. A little RPO action there, Braydon.
Yeah, and Caden Smith, their talented receiver, but he looked like he was jogging through that route. Found himself wide open, just prancing like a gazelle throughout the field. And I think that's almost exactly the best way to describe his play style, is like a gazelle. He's very graceful when he plays football.
Jermaine Kurgendahl on the tackle. He got beat off the line by Caden Smith. 1st and 10 at the 26. Bulldogs looking for an early 2-possession lead. Gurnick's going to carry this one up for about 4 yards to the 21-yard line. 2nd and 6 for the CP offense.
I don't want to jinx us right now, Gabe, but for the second week in a row, we may have predicted our keys of the game perfectly, as the Bulldogs now in their second drive have been put in a numerous amount of passing situations, and they've come to task. Last week it was the DBs. This week kind of focusing more on the offense, the wide receivers. I don't want to predict it, but I think we match these keys up perfectly.
2nd and 6. Custy pressured, hits Trevor Gibbs over the middle of the field. He lands just short. Joe Meyer makes the tackle right at the goal line. Custy with a man in his face made a great throw. First pretty impressive throw we've seen tonight from Tice Custy.
Tice Custy, this kid is special. Came in this year as a junior, played wide out over at Valpo High School, transferred here to Crown Point for a quarterback position. Found himself in a battle with Cooper Mulaski. Last week, we saw him come out as the front runner, and this week looks like he's going to be the name starter. This kid is something special.
Good throw to Gibbs. Now Summers and the gun, and they're going to go up the middle, direct snap, and that one is in. I'm not even sure who got it. It's Braden Scott. Play happened so fast, I couldn't even tell who got the snap, but it was Braden Scott. And Scott will have his 11th touchdown of the year, averaging nearly 2 touchdowns per game. And the Bulldogs have an early 2-touchdown lead.
Braden Scott, a kid who was used a lot in the first 3 weeks of football. Starting at that Portage game, really didn't see him, but I mean, still coming up big in these clutch moments here. And he stopped, took a step back, and then proceeded to jump over the pile there. So just that dog mentality from him, reason why he got that touchdown.
Cavalcante. On the tackle, Cavalcante there as well. So LaPorte will start with pretty good field position here at around the 32-yard line. And we will see the defense for the second time tonight. Amir Plowden is back on the field playing what looks like starting reps, Braydon.
Yes, he had some off-the-field issues. Coach Buzz told him he had to work his way back up the depth chart. It seems like he's done that here in only his second week back with the team.
So Plowden, Gonzalez, and Daniels on the D line for the Bulldogs. Summers appears to be coming off the edge here. And and one of the teams jumped. Gonzalez maybe was the one. It looks like the
Full
call
start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
will be a false start, as our official says. So 1st and 15. This is what LaPorte cannot have. We've said against Maryville. We've said against Valpo. It's 3 steps forward. It's 4 steps back. It's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. But with a team like LaPorte already being down 2 possessions, you cannot have that.
You almost have to take negative steps back, and every step back has to be a step forward.
Penziel will hand off to Raymond. He can't find anywhere to go. A.J. Summers right there to take down the 210-pound back on a loss of 3. And the Slicers backed up even more, 2nd and 18.
Now, A.J. Summers, a kid we have not talked about yet on this Crown Point defense and offense, runs the Wildcat look for the offense. This kid matches Max Gernig in height and weight, 6'1", 195 pounds. The difference, he's a freshman.
Unbelievable youth on this Crown Point team. And, I mean, future looks bright here. There's a lot of young players, sophomores, freshmen, and we can consider juniors, I guess, younger guys still have another year to play, excluding this year. A lot of young talent here on the Crown Point team. Penziel to throw. He's going to get rid of this one quick, right off of his receiver's hands. And Trevor Gibbs was there in coverage, not making the catch.
Now this is once again a mistake you cannot make if you're LaPorte. These passes have to be caught and corralled by your receivers if you want to win this game.
3rd down for the Slicers, 3rd and 18. This is what they cannot be in 3rd and long. We saw Valpo and Maryville convert, and I think that passing game being successful against these DBs kind of woke them up, and I think they're playing a lot better so far tonight.
I think if you're Maryville, you have Mikkel Smoot, Valpo, Sam Verard, Troy Danzy. I don't see anybody of that caliber.
Game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
I don't see anyone of this caliber on this LaPorte team. And once again, Gabe, penalties, penalties, penalties. If I remember, Maryville had 18 penalties in the game against Crown Point just a couple weeks ago.
4 penalties for 25 yards already for the LaPorte Slicers, and we're not even done with the first. We still have 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. 3rd and 23. Crown Point showing pressure. Steve Pantelic there could not make the tackle. Gibbs is there to back him up. Flag is down, back in the backfield. And the Slicers, Trevor Gibbs with a sack all the way back at the 10. Just dominance from this defensive line so far, awaiting the official call of the penalty.
The ref made a face mask signal, so we'll see if that is the official call, if it gets changed.
Incidental face mask. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Down.
So unlike college and the NFL, no 15 yards, just 5 yards here.
We'll see, Gabe, the key difference is he said incidental face mask. We've seen face mask calls called. The ref deemed this one as incidental, which I guess is up to his jurisdiction.
So the Slicers will remain alive on this drive. Pantelic was there with pressure, and Gibbs thought he got his 2nd sack of the season, that one taken back. Still remains just 1 sack on the year and 1 forced fumble for him, going to Indiana University, graduating this winter to go and play spring ball over there in the Big Ten.
Now I will say Steve Pantelic off the line came in for Amir Plowden. Kid's been great.
Penziel's going to try and keep it, nothing there. Now going to reverse field. Now he's going to try and throw down the field, and that one is incomplete. No flags are down. That was intended for Matsk once again. Seems to be his go-to receiver. Kalen Matz could not come up with the catch, and 4th and long. Punt team will be coming out once again for the LaPorte Slicers.
Carson Cavalcante not giving him an inch on that play. That is the coverage that Coach Bazia is looking for out of his DBs. That's the coverage that me and you, Gabe, are looking for out of these DBs. And this is where they prove themselves right here.
Jack Borelli back on to punt. 20 punts on the air, averaging about 30 yards. Again, a 53-yard punt is as long. Last one went inside of the 10-yard line. Their defense couldn't do much with that. Another good one here headed for Dominic Fenton, and this one will bounce out of bounds just inside the 35-yard line. So much better starting field position for this Crown Point Bulldog offense coming back out.
Crown Point punted a couple times against Valpo. Gabe, do you think that this is going to be a theme reoccurring this week against LaPorte?
Yeah, I kind of hate to say it. I'd like to see this Bulldog team tested. I'd like to see what they can do. I mean, I think that the AC is a fine conference. I think it does get too much hate. But I think that I'd like to see this Crown Point team against the Fort Wayne team or an Indy team in a competitive game. I'd like to see how they respond to that.
Yeah, maybe that week 2 slot needs to be filled with one of those games.
Custy will throw outside to Urbanic, and he makes about a 5-yard catch on the play. So Custy off to an early passing start, not playing too bad. The Bulldogs going hurry-up offense here, running under a minute and a half to go in the first quarter. Handoff to, it's going to be a keep here by Custy, and he's going to take a hit or 2 on the play. Will he pick up the first down? They're going to mark him just short. Nope, they're going to move the chains. Another first down. Bulldogs going real quick here. Chains weren't even set. Officials weren't set. Custy to throw again, and that one's behind Caden Smith. Nearly could have been intercepted by Joe Meyer.
We've seen 2 consecutive read options there by Crown Point, and LaPorte has bit both times. Just very undisciplined defense from this LaPorte defensive line.
So 2nd and 10 for this Bulldog offense. Minute and 6 to go. 14-0. Bulldogs is your score. Custy will go to another play action here. He's going to hit Anderson Keller, and Keller is going to plow 4. That is his first catch of the year. 6 games in, he finally got one in his hands. And that will move the sticks for the Bulldogs once again back into LaPorte territory, and they're going quick again as we run under a minute. Custy in the gun again. Bulldogs might have gone early. No call over the middle of Caden Smith, and Caden Smith is going to run away from everybody. Tice Custy over the middle of the field, and there is a flag on the play and might be taken back.
Against Crown Point, touchdown is
So the touchdown is good. Sideline warning against Crown Point. Common theme we've been seeing all year.
27 on the play from Tice Custy. I mean, another great throw and catch, and Caden Smith, too fast for everyone on that field, just ran away from him.
And with that play, Crown Point has reached 206, maybe 207 yards in the air as they now lead by 3 scores.
So with about 40 seconds to go, Cavalcante will attempt another extra point. That one is up and through, and it is 21-0 before the end of the first quarter. I have a feeling we're going to get to see a little Cooper Mulaski, a little Chase Horton here tonight, Braydon.
I don't think we're going to get to see a little Chase Horton. I think we're going to get to see a lot of Chase Horton. He is the 3rd quarterback on this depth chart. Week 3, we talked to Coach Bazia. He said to not count out him in the starting quarterback race. We've since seen that race expanded to just Tice Custy, but I have no doubt that we will see a lot of Cooper Mulaski, a lot of Chase Horton, and I talked to you before the game, Gabe, about 3 quarterbacks that can all play at a varsity level. How do we not hang 70, 80 on LaPorte tonight?
70 or 80 is a big number to be asking for, but if any team could do it, it would be Coach Buzz's Bulldogs on homecoming night.
Gabe, our freshman year, we hung about 65 on LaPorte, and that was with J.J. Johnson and then a backup quarterback, which was also a senior that year.
So under dominance 2 years ago, trying to do the exact same thing, 3-touchdown lead, and we're not even done. I mean, who knows, with the way this game's going, Crown Point might get the ball back on offense with just 49 seconds to go in the first quarter. Devin Wagner once again to kick off to probably Reed Raymond, who has returned the last 2 kickoffs, and here we go. Wagner will kick this one off, and it will not go to Reed Raymond this time, and it will go to Matsk, and Matsk is going to find a little gap. And so far, special teams not too bad. The punts haven't been too bad. Kick returns haven't been too bad. That one out to the 32.
Yeah, I think their return game has been excellent. Not good, excellent. But when you start playing offense, they're getting pressure on the quarterback. That was probably our biggest key to the game. The DBs have been playing good. Another key to the game, right? Everything is going correct for this Crown Point offense. I almost want to bet we see an interception here, especially if LaPorte's going to try to stretch his field late in the first quarter.
7 of them last week against, I bet we would say, a much better Valpo pass offense. I mean, who knows? Maybe we see 8 tonight. Maybe we see double that number, 14. I mean, no, I'm just kidding, ladies and gentlemen. If we see 14, oh, man, I think the television might be off by then. So 1st and 10 for the Slicers, 40 seconds to go. And it's going to go out to Matsk on a screen. He's going to gain about 7 yards on the play to the 40-yard line. And the Slicers offense just trying to gain some momentum here to end the first quarter.
Gabe, just a little friendly advice from your co-host here in the booth. That was a terrible joke. Never go into stand-up comedy.
Thank you, Braydon. You know, my dad always told me I might be able to go into stand-up comedy. I never believed them. So maybe I should follow your advice.
Stick to broadcasting.
2nd and 3 for the Slicers. Always good jokes with old Braydon Zamojski, Mr. Zamojski. It's going to be a handoff to Raymond, and nothing is there. He's going to break off a few red jerseys, but not after losing about 2 yards on the play. So goes from 2nd and 3 to 3rd and 5. Again, a few steps forward, more steps back.
About 6 steps back, equivalent to 2 yards, if you want to talk literally here on the football field. But yes, that same concept of you move forward, you move twice as far back.
So the Slicers might run down the first quarter here. Looks like they will. Their offense walking out to the sidelines. So the Crown Point Bulldogs, a dominant first quarter, leading 21-0 after 1 quarter. Stay with us for the second quarter here on the Bulldog Network.
Generations of family, faith, and community are at the heart of Dutch Farms. Based in Chicago for nearly 40 years, we work hard to bring you a full line of fresh, high-quality products fast. Like eggs that go from farm to shelf in 24 to 48 hours. That's freshness you can trust. And it's all part of our family tradition of quality.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Network. The Crown Point Bulldogs and the LaPorte Slicers. 3rd and 5 for the Slicer offense. They're going to go to Reed Raymond on a handoff, and nothing is there. Another loss of 2. Now up to, or should I say down to, -8 rushing yards on the night so far.
Yeah, just not able to get anything going for a team that averages 211.7 rushing yards a game. This is just absolutely not what you're looking for if you're a Slicer player, Slicer coach, Slicer fan, or Slicer cheerleader.
Absolutely. So the Bulldogs totally dominating. If you're just joining us, I'm Gabe Trevino, joined by my color man, Braydon Zamojski. The Bulldogs off to a really hot start, up 21-0 here on the LaPorte Slicers on the homecoming game, and a high snap here. Borelli's going to have to chase this one down. Here comes Trevor Gibbs. He's going to try and throw now. He's going to hit a receiver, but nowhere near the line to gain, and a total disastrous play. Borelli threw a good pass, but nowhere near the line of gain, and it just keeps going backwards for the Slicers.
That pass basically got back to the original line of scrimmage from that drive, and just nothing for LaPorte. I know we used this word a lot last year on our broadcast, but domination from the Bulldogs through a quarter and now 1 play, 2 plays.
So 49 seconds into the second quarter, and the Bulldogs are already at the Slicer 30-yard line. Mulaski now getting his first reps at quarterback for the Bulldogs, the big 6'7", 210-pound frame. Going to go play action. The Gurnick. Molaski's going to throw over the middle of the field. He has Logan Urbanik, and he makes the catch. First play for Molaski. Touchdown, Bulldogs, and they will go up 4 touchdowns. Only 56 seconds into the second quarter, Braydon.
I think I called it with that word domination, but looking during the play, I looked back at the line of scrimmage, and Tony Brooks, for the second week in a row, has had a play where his helmet has come off. So just a physical kind of player. He got a unsportsmanlike penalty last week, plays with a lot of emotion, a lot of grit, always has a high motor.
Carson Cavalcante, another extra point for him, and he will remain perfect. So he's now 15 for 15 on extra points, 4 for 4 tonight. 28-0 Bulldogs is your score. If you were just joining us here on the Bulldog Network, you're turning on the game saying, what? 28-0 and we're just starting the second quarter? Yep, that's been the story of the game. It's been LaPorte taking a few steps forward, trying to gain some momentum, and then penalties and a bad snap, and then the Bulldogs get great position, and their defense hasn't helped them out.
Yeah, and I think the main reason why this is a shutout is Crown Point's defense. LaPorte has had some plays on offense. They've tried to get to their stars, Mask, Raymond, but this defense looks almost changed. Almost looks like a whole new defense from what we've seen in the past 6 weeks of football. The DBs are playing at a high level. I mean, granted, this is LaPorte towards the bottom of the DSC, but these quarterbacks are playing at a level that we haven't seen yet this season. This line has gotten pressure on every single play. I mean, those were our keys to the game. They have nailing them. And this Crown Point offense, this is more passing yards than we've seen pretty much an entire game. I remember a couple weeks ago, Cooper Molaski threw 7 passes the entire game. And now we're sitting at
first passing touchdown that we've seen in a while for him. Wagner will kick this one off once again. And here goes Mask. He's going to find another gap. And again, this LaPorte special team's doing well all the way out across the 40-yard line. So again, the Slicers start with good field position. Here we go, Braydon. 1 or 2 steps forward. Can they keep stepping forward and not step backward?
We saw Valpo kind of do the same thing. Their return game was really good, but then you get down into the nitty-gritty with this Bulldog defense. Hasn't turned out well for a lot of teams this season.
Well, you mentioned Valpo's return was good last week. Is that maybe a problem with Crown Point's kickoff coverage?
I think now that this has happened twice, especially against a weaker opponent, that is something that they're going to have to look at in film and deal with in practice.
So Aiden Penziel just trying to work his way down the field, has not done so successfully. He's going to go to Raymond, his star running back, and he's going to get maybe a yard if he's lucky on that play. The Slicers just trying to get something going here to start the game, but a gain of 1 on the play, 2nd and 9.
LaPorte just not getting anything. And you almost have to think, Gabe, should they start maybe running it wide around the outside, try to target Biasi or Cavalcante? I mean, Raymond has a lot of speed, but you can't just keep shoving it up the middle and up the middle and up the middle against an unmatched line in size and in skill.
And by the way, it hasn't really worked so far if you're LaPorte. So about 2 minutes into the second quarter here, they're going to go to a pass, and there we go. LaPorte into Crown Point territory for the first time tonight. Penziel fires a nice pass to the sideline, and the Slicers have one of very few first downs so far. And again, Kalen Matsk with the catch on the outside.
He actually wasn't listed in our starting depth chart, but instead as a backup, seems to be that they're looking with their formations, their game plan, definitely more of a pass-heavy look. They've been used to running 3 tight ends, which they ran on their first drive. Now they're kind of switching to a 2-receiver look now.
Wyatt Mazur, the other receiver out there to go along with Matsk. 1st and 10, another rollout play here. Penziel's going to try and keep it himself now, and he's going to get to the outside. He's going to gain a few yards, and here goes Penziel taking off down the sideline. And Penziel will go out at around the 30-yard line, call it the 29. A good 16-yard run by Penziel.
Aiden Penziel, a player that I actually had the pleasure of working with as I was part of the team for LaPorte's Media Day this year. Great kid, and he is an athlete. If you want to talk about athlete, this kid, as though he's struggled tonight, his ability on the ground and in the air is undeniable.
So now LaPorte in
Holding.
business.
Offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
We apologize. We did not see that flag on the play, but Braydon, again, it just goes back to the same thing we've been saying all game so far. A few steps forward, and that was probably the biggest step forward for LaPorte, a 16-yard run from your quarterback and a 10-yard penalty.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say except that's not what you're looking for because, you're down 3-4 scores now.
So, a 5-yard penalty. Matsk is going to get another catch on the outside on a screen, takes a big hit by Dominic Fan and Griffin Van Tischelt over there on the LaPorte sideline. He gains about 6, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and it's 2nd and 9. LaPorte, it looks like they were going to get down all the way inside the 30 of the Bulldogs. They'd be knocking on the red zone, and now they're all the way back at the 45-yard line.
Knocking on the red zone, knocking on heaven's door, but instead, took out the chain gang guy. He is down on the field, looks like. So we'll have a quick timeout for that. The officials broke the chain after that play, so we will
getting that all sorted out. Hopefully that can get sorted out. I guess if you're LaPorte, maybe you're hoping it doesn't get sorted out very quick so you can try and get some momentum here maybe. 9.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Bulldogs up 28-0 so far, and Braydon, at this pace, they may get to 50 points before the half as long as LaPorte can, give them the ball graciously as they have all game. Then maybe Crown Point can get to 50 here before halftime. 28 is about halfway there.
Yeah, and I was actually just about to ask you about that, Gabe, but also, Coach Bazia is not a coach who likes to run the clock out, run the ball. If he's up big, he's going to keep scoring.
2nd and 9 here for the Slicers. Aiden Penziel in the gun. Reed Raymond right behind him is trying to get something going. He hasn't been able to, and that will not help. Going backwards here, and he's going to run out to about the 50-yard line and out of bounds. That will not help his stat sheet all the way back to midfield, and it's 3rd and about 15 again for the Slicers.
So going back to Coach Bazia's mentality of keep going, I remember I was at the LC game, which was at LC. I was on the field, and they were up big, had their second team kickoff in, and LC had ran back a kick, almost scored a touchdown, and Bazia instantly said, "They're not going back on the field. That's my second unit." And so that just, he holds everyone to the same standard no matter you're backup, 3rd string, 4th string, or a starter.
Penziel trying to get out of trouble here. He's going to get out to around the 45. So Aiden Penziel showing off his legs here, getting a few yards in the run game, but not anywhere near the marker. It's going to be 4th and 10. And I think if you're LaPorte, you're going to have to go for this one now that you're down 4 scores.
Yeah, can't get any worse for you, right? There's already looks like there's no hope. At least go for it, try to make it some hope there, especially when you have a quarterback who can run. Looks like they're going to put the punt unit in.
So the punt unit coming out once again for the 5th time tonight. Jack Borelli once again the punt this one. Last time the snap went over his head by Carlos Calderon, who is the long snapper here for the Slicers. This time a good one, and Borelli will get this one up and away, and a deep punt here. It might land in the end zone, and it will. So Borelli with too much of a leg on that one. That was about 50 yards in the air. Impressive kick, but could not pin Crown Point deep, so they will come out to the 20-yard line is where the CP offense will start.
Giving Crown Point this good of field position is something you cannot do. 20-yard line, they on the first one, they had them pinned back all the way in their 10. They still ended up scoring on that drive. So I think, a stop here for LaPorte is key, is huge. It's honestly a miracle.
So Cooper Mulaski once again back in at quarterback. The Crown Point offensive line before the starters come out from left to right. Zach Clark, Tony Brooks, Connor Cavalcante, Austin Reading, and Nolan Cicero, the Ball State commit. Guys will probably come out soon here, but as you said, Bazia may not bring his starters out so quick. R.J. Ford here on the catch, the freshman, getting out across the 30, and he will pick up 11 on his first play of the game.
He's a guy that we have seen come in situations where the starters aren't necessarily out, but Bazia wants to start subbing in second-string guys. But let me tell you, Gabe, when you see these second-string guys, third-string guys come in this game, they'll be held to the same standard as these varsity starters that are on the field right now.
So 8 catches for 82 yards now on the season for the freshman R.J. Ford, 6'2", 180 pounds out there, number 8 nearest to your screen. Alex Rodriguez coming in motion, Molaski giving him directions. Rodriguez takes a look over the sideline. Gurnick in the backfield. Play action. Molaski to throw. Gurnick throws him a block. Going to go down the middle of the field to Ford. Ford bobbles it, and it's incomplete. Molaski put that right in his breadbasket, and Ford could not come down with the catch.
Almost a perfect ball by Cooper Molaski, but looked like the strong safety there, Job Mayer, just kind of got in there, got his hand in there, was able to pop a bobbling ball loose, and I think that just shows the downfield ability from Cooper Molaski.
So good throw from Molaski, cannot be completed. The Ford, he will check out of the game. 2nd and 10, they're going to go to the run game once again. Cicero pancakes a man. Gurnick will gain about 7 on the play, 6 or 7 yards, and it's 3rd and about 3 for the Bulldogs.
Ethan Blair tried to make the tackle on Max Gurnick, and Gurnick hit him about 3 yards in front of him, but then fell over. But, I mean, if Ethan Blair's able to make that tackle, that's 3 yards that Crown Point is not able to get, which just contributes to the size and just mentality and physicality of Max Gurnick.
So Ben and Anderson Keller into this package. A.J. Summers in the Wildcat. And it's going to be a shift of formation here. Flag is down. We've seen this before. Looks like it might be on LaPorte.
Defense. 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
So that 5-yard penalty goes from 3rd down. Maybe LaPorte can stop them. I don't know if Coach Buzz would punt on 4th and 1. But you never know. I mean, if LaPorte could have gotten a stop on 3rd down, and now results in a first down.
We've seen a lot of undisciplined play from this LaPorte defense, both in the penalties and I think in just the play in general, right? Crown Point has faked out on 2 read options now. Something to look forward to.
Molaski going to go to the run game. Gurnick busts up the middle, and he's going to get across the 45-yard line. Gains about 12 on the play, and Gurnick adding to his night all the way out across the 45-yard line as the clock runs down to about 7 minutes to play before halftime.
Max Gurnick, one of the many members, actually not many, one of the few members on me and Gabe's dog list, spelled D-A-W-G-S, just guys with the mentality.
Yeah, we got to mention that, D-A-W-G, not the typical D-O-G spelling, and here goes Gurnick again, tripping, stumbling, gets back up and all the way out across the 35, gains another 12 yards, and Gurnick just pounding it on the ground.
Yeah, so to make that dog list, we pick guys throughout the game that just show the mentality of someone who doesn't give up, a true athlete, right? So Max Gurnick, Griffin Van Tischel, Tice Custy, I feel like could be in that conversation. Braden Scott is one of our dogs. We call him the Honey Badger a lot. Short, stocky, but physical guy.
Rodriguez comes in motion, a wacky play here. It's going to be an end around the Caden Smith. Smith's not going to have a lot of room. Marshall is there, and Smith will be tackled out of bounds after a gain of maybe 2 on the play. It looked like 3 fakes there, and then a little toss to Caden Smith on the end around. And Molaski is looking towards the sideline once again, and Caden Smith gains about 2 on the play, 2nd and 8.
Yes, I remember end arounds are considered passes, so he will get passing yards for that play. But just a trick play by Coach Bazia doesn't really work there for the Bulldogs. I think it's time for them to stretch the field.
So Gurnick back in at running back. Rodriguez at receiver. Molaski to throw again, has a clean pocket, throws over the middle of the field, and Logan Urbanek with another touchdown. Tony Brooks' helmet comes off once again, Braydon. But Urbanek has his 2nd touchdown of the night. Molaski with his 2nd passing touchdown of the night. And just what? Yep, 2 possessions. 2 passing touchdowns and 2 possessions for Molaski. He will stay out on the field to hold Another touchdown for the Bulldogs.
I think our stat guy, Owen Evener, needs to add a little column that just says helmets lost next to Tony Brooks' name, because that's 2 now in this game. 1 last week. Again, I think he's another one. We may talk about it, putting him on that dog list.
I think that whole offensive line might deserve to go into that dog list. I mean, they're dominating right now, and now they are up 35-0, and Brooks handing his helmet to some of the athletic trainers down there on the field. Maybe something happened. Maybe it's too loose with the screws, something down there. He's going to get that fixed, and Tony Brooks visibly frustrated down there on the sideline. 5:46 to go in the second quarter now.
Now a smash mouth offense for Crown Point has now passed for 270 passing yards.
And by the way, we're barely halfway through the second quarter now.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Barely halfway through the second quarter. I think hanging 50, 60, maybe 67 is very possible.
60 or 70 could be pretty easy for the Bulldogs tonight. I mean, they're already halfway there, and it's still not even halftime yet. 35-0 is your score. If you were just joining us, the Crown Point Bulldogs laying the hammer right now down on the LaPorte Slicers. 35-0 is your score. I am Gabe Trevino, and with me is Braydon Zamojski. 5 minutes and 46 seconds to go here in the second quarter as Devin Wagner kicks this one off. And this one's going to bounce it around the 10. It's going to be returned by the Slicers. It's going to be McCarthy, and he's going to get out to around the 23-yard line. And he is just swarmed by a whole lot of red jerseys. Looks like a wasp's nest, just a red wasp nest right on top of McCarthy.
You know, actually, it reminds me of a wasp nest. A week ago, we did actually have wasps or bees of some sort around our game night desk, flying around us. They landed on us a couple times. But yes, that was just a great play by this Crown Point return defense, who we just talked about has been struggling this game, and that was LaPorte's least amount of yards returned on a kick so far this game.
Yeah, we've talked about how the Slicers, their special teams has really been their only bright spot here so far, and now we see some of the backups here on defense come in and get some playing time. Carson Whitham is now on the defensive line. Jake Yeager back at safety, and here go the Slicers once again. It's going to be Matzkin. He's going to get a big catch out on another screen pass that LaPorte likes to go to. Gains about 15 on the play, call it 13 on the play, to around the 37-yard line. 5.5 to go here in the second quarter.
And I will tell you, Gabe, if Coach Bazia is not happy with these backups, guess who's going back in?
All the starters.
Yes, Coach Bazia holds all of his players, a very full sideline here in Crown Point, Indiana, but he holds all of them to the same standard of the 11 on offense, 11 on defense that will start the game. Same standard as those who will end the game.
Cesar Casanova also at cornerback coming in for the first time tonight. They're going to throw outside as Penzile, and he's got a man wide open. Yeager will make the tackle there on the sideline. That is Cameron McCarthy. Makes a great catch and a great throw from Penzile all the way out to the 40-yard line, across the 40-yard line. And here we go, Braydon, a step forward for the Slicers. Can they keep stepping forward?
Cameron McCarthy being able to beat the zone look there for this Bulldog defense, and I think this is something that's going to happen as these backups come in. You're going to see a switch from a man look to a zone look just because some of these JV guys do not have the ability to hang, and I already see Oscar Biazzi back on the field for the Bulldogs.
As you said, Oscar Biazzi, the starter, coming back out, and Matsk drops this screen pass, and it'll be called incomplete. So first drop he's had tonight on the same screen pass they've run. 2nd and 10 from the 37 for the Slicers.
Now, Coach Bazia is not fully subbed in or out, right? Guys like A.J. Summers. I see Steve Pantelic on the sideline. Ben Clark. Guys that are varsity starters. Oscar Biazzi, Carson Cavalcante there on the far side of your screen by the 30-yard line. Some of these guys are still in the game, so Bazia has not given his starters the bench yet.
2nd and 10 from the Crown Point 37. Penzile going to go back to a pass. Throws it outside. This one caught by Kalen Matsk again. And it'll be another first down for the Slicers. They're moving the ball pretty good here on this somewhat backup defense for the Bulldogs, all the way down to the 25-yard line. Again, knocking on the red zone.
Now, I don't think you can call this a backup defense. That was defended by Carson Cavalcante, who throughout the season, whenever he tries to make a play on the ball, he leaves his feet. He dives, he hits the ground, puts the Bulldogs in a very vulnerable position that now you only have Dominic Fanton or another safety back there to defend that guy.
So 1st and 10 now at the 25, another 12-yard pickup for the Slicers. Penziel in the gun, Raymond back in the game at running back. They're going to go to him. Raymond's going to go right up the middle. He's going to gain about 2 yards on the play as the clock winds down to about 4.5 minutes to play here before halftime.
Gabe, I have to mention the student section here at Crown Point. Homecoming night, neon night, and this student section has not sat down once since we've been up here in the booth.
Even in a 35-0 game, and I mean, we'll see at halftime, but it doesn't look like anybody is left so far, even with a 5-touchdown lead before halftime.
And I'm looking over there by the concession stands on both sides. I see a lot of neon green, neon orange.
Penziel's going to go out the mask once again. He's going to try and break it outside. Biasi is there along with Yeager. And inside the 20 go the Slicers. It's going to be about 3rd and 4 now from inside the 20. So the first red zone trip for the Slicers.
The Slicers knocking on heaven's door, as Bob Dylan would say. But Oscar Biasi doing a very good job to wrap up on that tackle and just stop a gain of yardage there after the catch.
Aiden Penziel once again in the gun, 2 wide receivers out. 3rd and 4 here. Penziel's going to roll out. He's going to have time. Here comes Treasurer, and Penziel's going to break that tackle, and he's going to lower his shoulder. Will he get the first down? It looked like he will. Rowan Treasurer, came right after him. He broke that tackle, and he picked up another first down with his legs, Braydon.
Gabe, I told you not to count out Aiden Penziel. This kid is athletic. He plays physical. He gets nitty and gritty. Saw it there breaking that tackle, getting the first down for his team.
So 1st and 10 now, about maybe just inside the 15. They're right at the 15-yard line. And now they're knocking maybe on the end zone. Are the Slicers. Penziel, who took off with his legs on 3rd down, broke a Treasurer tackle, and it's going to be a handoff to Raymond, and Raymond's going to break a few tackles, and he's going to get down inside the 5. And now the Slicers 3 yards away from their first score of the night.
The shutout is worrying. It's in fear of being broken. And now Nevion Wright, it looks like, is going to sprint onto the field for this Bulldogs defense. Hopefully stop the Slicers from scoring.
Wright, Whitham, Pantelic out there on the defensive line for the Bulldogs. Biasi still in at corner. A.J. Summers still in along with Ben Clark. Garrett Ortiz also subbing back in, starting linebacker. 1st and goal from the 3. It's going to go to Raymond. Everybody there. Pantelic first man there. And it's going to be a loss of, call it 2 on the play, back to around the 5-yard line. And again, Braydon, here we go. A few steps forward, and they're going to take maybe a mini step back because they're at the 5.
I would say no steps forward, no steps back there, Gabe. But I do want to mention this Crown Point secondary. The biggest place they've struggled is up tight against the goal line. So we'll see how they fare here against this LaPorte offense.
2nd and 5. Penziel looking to throw. He's going to have time. He's going to try and get out of there, but nothing there. Time runs out. He takes another sack all the way back at the 10, and it's 3rd and goal from the 10. We go from 1st and goal at the 3 to 3rd and goal at the 10 now for the Slicers, and you got to think if you get the 4th down, you got to go for it.
I think you have to go for it here. At least close the gap a little bit, make it less bearable for the end scorecard. But I mean, that was probably one of the biggest steps back of this game, and one that you cannot have if you're LaPorte.
Third and goal, and we...
Timeout. LaPorte. It's their first timeout of the first half.
Slicers will call their first timeout of the half. 55 seconds to go here in the first half. 3rd and goal from the 10 is where the Slicers are at. 35-0 Bulldog lead is your score. If you're just joining us, I'm Gabe Trevino, and with me is the wonderful Braydon Zamojski. Braydon, it's been utter dominance tonight so far, but LaPorte trying to get on the board late in the half.
Yeah, call that timeout, try to draw maybe a Coach Bazia type trick play. LaPorte head coach Austin Eppel and offensive coordinator Bill Gum trying to draw something up for their team, but just nothing for LaPorte. I feel like is what we keep saying. I promise that there is not playback issues on your device, but it is just the same story this entire game, and we're not even through one half of football yet.
You know, we've seen, Braydon, I think it's a common theme. We see flashes of hope from the team's Crown Points playing. They give up, you know, defense gives up subtle plays, big plays, and then it's sack, and then it's loss, and it's just negative plays after good plays. Penziel's going to throw outside, and Jake Yeager right there almost had the pick, and that one may have gone for 6 if he caught that one.
Yeah, that is one where if he gets his hands around that football, that is a dangerous situation to be in. And maybe we could have seen 42 on the board for Crown Point, but alas, nothing there.
So Jake Yeager on the play there nearly intercepted that ball. The 6'3", 185-pound sophomore getting reps out there in the secondary. And it'll be LaPorte's second time out of the half. Really can use all 3 of them now with 51 seconds to go, thinking about this 4th down and goal play call. And just to get some points on the board would be a positive for LaPorte right now. I mean, we mention momentum all the time. I don't think it's really about momentum right now for LaPorte. I think it's just about getting on the board.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just making that scorecard look less bad in Max Preps or on any state website. Because right now it is just brutal, and I mean, like you said, utter dominance by Crown Point. Now up, what, 4 scores? 5 scores now, actually.
35-0 is your score approaching halftime. With 51 seconds to go, the Crown Point defense has been dominant so far. Slicers have gotten all the way down to the 10, but they had 1st and goal from the 3. And then after 2 negative-yard losses on 2nd and 3rd down, now they are at the 10-yard line. 4th and goal here for the Slicers. Penziel to throw. Pantelic is right there. Flag is down. Could be a holding call. Wide open for a touchdown is Dane Ferguson. And Penziel visibly frustrated as the call looks like it's going to be holding on the LaPorte Slicers, and that would have been the first score of the night. Good improv by Penziel, but it's going to be taken back.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty enforced from the previous spot. Replay 4th down.
So now it goes from 4th and goal at the 10 to 4th and goal at the 20. And man, Penziel made a great play there, getting in and out of trouble, weaving in between red jerseys. Makes a good throw to a wide open Dane Ferguson, his senior tight end, and just could not. I mean, penalties are killing the LaPorte Slicers right now. And now they have to go from the 20-yard line. Penziel to throw, pressure again, a 5-man rush. He's going to step up. Nothing is there. Steve Pantelic with a sack, and the Crown Point Bulldogs defense comes up with yet another stop, and it gives their offense maybe some time to put another touchdown on the board before half.
I mean, I think they absolutely can. I'm going to guess they're just going to kneel this one out, but Steve Pantelic, this kid came in for Amir Plowden. Amir was having some off-the-field issues. Steve had to come and fill his role. I think me and you both kind of questioned the impact that Pantelic would have on this defense. I would say there was almost no change at all. He is a high-motor guy, grit guy, and he will never stop moving.
So they will go to kneeling here, and that will do it, I believe, for the half, and it will. So a flag is down here. Waiting the call.
Illegal participation, offense, 12 players on the field, 15 yards, a half the distance to the goal. Replay 1st down.
This is just a penalty that
you don't see very often in high school football.
I don't really understand how you could accidentally have too many men on the field.
So Coach Buzz has his headset off. Doesn't seem too angry. Maybe doesn't have to be angry being up 5 touchdowns here at the half. 12 men on the field, backs the Bulldogs up. Not going to make a difference. Lasky will kneel this one out. Should be no 12 players on the field, and that will do it here for the first half. Your 6-0 Crown Point Bulldogs against the 2-4 LaPorte Slicers, leading them at half 35-0. Probably see some of the backup guys come in and get their chance at some of the reps. We will be back for the second half here on the Bulldog Network. We will have the band out here on the field for you guys, and we'll be back with the first half highlights here on the Bulldog Network. Stay with us.
Generations of family, faith, and community are at the heart of Dutch Farms. Based in Chicago for nearly 40 years, we work hard to bring you a full line of fresh, high-quality products fast. Like eggs that go from farm to shelf in 24 to 48 hours. That's freshness you can trust. And it's all part of our family tradition of quality.
At Crown Point High School, we are a connected community. The larger we grow, the stronger we become, because at our core are values that guide us.
What does it mean to be part of our Bulldog community?
It means courage, facing adversity head on, leading with grit, and knowing that every setback is a step forward.
Crown Point taught me not to be afraid to try something new.
It means creativity, from center stage to classroom labs. It is where passion meets purpose and innovation takes shape. Bulldogs bring ideas to life. It means citizenship, giving back, lifting others, building a stronger community together.
Our students learn that leadership begins with service.
It means culture, every story, every background, every voice, adding to our shared experience. It means being future ready, with more than 20 career pathways, 60 dual credit and AP courses, and preparation for college, career, or service.
I know Crown Point is helping me get where I want to go.
And through it all, we stay connected. With more than 75 clubs, sports, and activities, there's a place for everyone. Every classroom, every activity, every team. Woven together into one community. Crown Point High School, where the heart of a Bulldog stays with you, ready to take on the world. Connected at our core.
We would not have opened the restaurant anywhere else. It had to be Crown Point. It's kind of part of our purpose behind it. Our family's from here. We've grown up here. We can see the growth coming as someone who's been in the community for a while now. The idea of Station 21 really came from just a place to celebrate victories, watch sports. We were kind of hoping for somewhere that could be if it's acceptable, a family-friendly sports bar, and with our 2 different levels, we think we're able to achieve that. Our goal is to offer the highest quality with the most competitive prices. One of the things that I think we pride ourselves on is that we don't want a customer to leave hungry. I have a pretty good appetite, so I tend to go towards our pot roast sandwich. It's a braised short rib over Texas toast with mashed potatoes, gravy, and carrots. If I had to pick a close second, it's simple, but the New York strip steak. It's a hand cut in New York. It's about 14 ounces, so again, it's filling. I like my red meat, I guess.
The most popular food items probably are mac and cheese, and a lot of people really enjoy our pot roast, and our tuna tacos are popular. So our mac and cheese starts with our clarified butter heating up, and we use that to brown our garlic. Then we add in our cream, and after our cream comes up to a simmer, we start adding in, there's a healthy amount of cheddar. We add in our Asiago and our Parmesan, and then it's finished off by adding just a little bit of Monterey. And then once that's reduced to a thick, creamy sauce, we add in our noodles, and then after it's tossed, we add salt and pepper. We finish it by topping it off with cheddar and Parmesan and a nice breadstick on the side.
So we like to come here on Mondays before volleyball because it's in a good location. It's right in downtown Crown Point. We really like the food. They have really good drink specials, and we also like the atmosphere. The servers are really good, and we like how there's a bunch of TVs, so whenever there's a game on, they turn it on the loudspeakers for us.
We eat here often. We bring our kids here on the weekends, and it's spot on with the food. I always know I'm going to get what I ask for. The burgers, they have a great variety of burgers, and they've always been great tasting.
We have a really unique dining experience. A teenager could come in with his mom or dad and sit around our upstairs hall. We also have a bar that sits about 18 to 20 people where, the Blackhawks fans are probably our best fans. We have a outdoor patio. In the summertime it's packed, and I think that really is something specific to us. There's a lot of outdoor dining around, but being on the second level on Main Street next to a busy intersection, in the summertime you get your motorcycles driving by, and it's something about Crown Point that I don't think you're going to get in our neighboring communities. Really thought that Crown Point could use another establishment like this.
We got a little extra for him to make him happy.
Go to the homecoming court on the field.
Nathaniel Townsend, escorted by parents Kathy and John. Nathaniel is an athletic council, National Honor Society, Man of Faith, Smart Start Tutoring, and is on the varsity soccer team. He plans to attend Purdue and major in pre-med, and his personal hero is his mom because of her compassion and hard work. And now the homecoming queen nominees. CC Shanor, escorted by parents Liz and Royce.
The field announcing
Cecilia participates in marching band as a section leader,
These nominees will be announced at the homecoming dance
National
tomorrow
Honor
night.
Society, Bulldog Network,
Just finished with
Past, Quiz Bowls, Symphony Orchestra, and National Art Honor Society. She hopes to attend University of Michigan to major in biochemistry and minor in flute performance. Her personal hero is her dad because he's always there to support her and inspires her to continue accomplishing her goals.
A lot of scouting for college. Getting with my fantasy team.
Elise Clark, escorted by her parents Emily and Dan. Elise is on the dance team. She participates in National Honor Society, Athletic Council, and The Cure. She plans to attend IU and major in dermatology. The personal hero is her younger sister because she has taught her patience and her kindness inspires her every day. Lauren Foster, escorted by her parents Joe and Kelly. Lauren is in Best Buddy, Student Council, National Honor Society, Chick-fil-A Club, Athletic Council, and Track and Field. She plans to attend Purdue and major in law with a minor in business. Her heroes are her dad and her late grandpa, Ed. They both have been her safe place and made sacrifices, stood by her, and guided her. Faith Oosterhoff, escorted by her parents, Christy and Fred. Faith is a National Honor Society, Chick-fil-A Club, Best Buddies Cass, and track and field. She plans to attend Purdue and major in nursing. Her personal hero is her brother Noah because she admires his success and as well as the fun times they share together. She hopes to accomplish half of what he has at his age. Yuki Swaminathan, escorted by her parents Emma and Swami. Yuki is a National Honor Society, BPA, and track and field. She plans to attend she plans to major in business or law, and her personal hero is her sister because she is a built-in best friend. She always knows what to say and to make her feel better and trusts her with her life. Our class of 2005 will be celebrating their 20-year reunion tomorrow. We have a special guest to help crown the king and queen.
On the field right now is your nominees for 2025 homecoming, the seniors, queens, and kings.
She is joined by some of the 2005
good group of guys and girls there. They will be announced once again tomorrow night at the homecoming dance here at Crown Point High School.
Trevor Gibbs, one of the guys, has had a great night tonight.
And now,
those guys.
This year's homecoming king.
We're actually announcing the kings and queens right now as we speak.
So the king is
Jacob Carver.
Is your king for 2025 homecoming. And now we will await the queen.
Jacob Barbero, a guy I've known for a couple years, since about 6th or
This
7th
year's
grade.
homecoming queen. CC Chanel.
So CC is Jacob's girlfriend. Good that they got picked together. CC also part of the band. She plays flute, part of the Royal Regiment, talented flautist here at Crown Point. Two great individuals picked by their peers here at Crown Point High School to be the homecoming king and queen.
Congratulations to those two, the homecoming king and queen, and that will obviously all be celebrated tomorrow night.
The two getting a little romantic there on the field, a little Hollywood moment as Jacob points to our on-field cameraman Luke Bazin, hoping to gain a little aura with that move. And there's our homecoming king and queen, Jacob Barbero and CC Sonora. Amazing time here at Crown Point High School's Owen, our stats guys on the field alongside Luke Bazin, our on-field camera. The Royal Regiment now, Crown Point's marching band, setting up to get on the field to perform their show, which is entitled Storms. Very talented band under the direction of Johan Sledo.
Tomorrow,
Funny
Royal Regiment will perform at 1:44 p.m.
Scratch that, they are performing the fourth movement of Return of the Sun.
The Royal Regiment will now perform their
So the band will
halftime show,
start playing
Storms.
as soon as they make their way onto the field.
They will be performing the fourth movement, Return of the Sun.
Once
Drum
again, they're
majors,
performing the fourth
Victoria
movement
Bonzo,
of Return to the Sun
Annabelle
under the
Kunzen,
direction of
and
Johan
Maggie
Sledo.
Arceo. The field is yours.
Are they still going to the dance? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did they just move for this? Yeah, we met her at the port. Like, when we spend the night at the room coming in, I'm like, well, she's going to be all of her parents and she seems nice, but I only met her.
The main goal of this restaurant is to provide the community with something that's incredibly different than anywhere else that's available. Provecho is about community. The most important thing about Provecho here is the family that we've created. It's about time spent together, eating together, that feeling of camaraderie when we share food together. That's what we try and do in every aspect of what we do here. One part of the restaurant is all seated, it's all communal dining. So you sit together at larger tables. You may be sitting with people from different areas, different walks of life, and some people end up sharing food together, but the conversation is what's important. That's what Provecho means.
The team that we have here is amazing. So once you come into this restaurant, it's not only from the food and the entirely different cuisine that we have, it's just the people and the smile, and it makes you just feel like you're at home. You're at home. In a different country.
Anytime somebody tries something different and likes that style or cuisine and enjoys something and learns something new, those are the dishes that are my favorite, because I think it's important to expand culture and diversity in oneself. So I think it's really an awesome opportunity to serve something a little bit different.
They picked a very good site when they chose in Crown Point, because Crown Point is a beautiful town anyway, but around the square like this, the square is a hub of a multi-generational opportunity where they can educate. So their whole mission statement is about educating us to educate the public. They want to restore the way that you go out to dinner.
The menu's inspiring, I think, because we're changing it so often. We have a partnership with Five Hands Farm in Lowell. We sat down early in this winter and we chose all of our seeds that we're growing this summer, so we're trying to create this partnership, just this whole work of sustainability and how we should take care of our community. I think that it's inspiring because the menu changes so frequently to provide that habitat here. I mean, we're changing things on the daily. Whatever Nash has got from the farm is what I'm going to put on the menu. Whatever's tasting fresh, whatever's whatever he has the most of and the best quality is what we're going to be serving.
The tacos were awesome, very tasty. I think the size is perfect. My husband and I shared. A restaurant like this, I think you could find up north in Chicago, like Lincoln Park area. So it's nice to have something like that in Northwest Indiana.
Oh, it's a great way to enjoy friends and share, different cultural cuisines and see what people enjoy, see what they like. Not everybody's gonna like octopus, but it gives you an opportunity to try it.
I think the service here is absolutely wonderful. There's not a lot of places where your waitress is as knowledgeable as she is with everything from the time we sat down until we're still ordering, and she still keeps giving us awesome information. So she's amazing.
A lot of variety, flavor's great, the atmosphere is great too, but we just love being here.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Network. I am Gabe Trevino. He is Braydon Zamojski. If you were just joining us, 35-0 is your score at halftime. The Crown Point Bulldogs lead the LaPorte Slicers here at the 2025 homecoming game. Braydon, it's been total dominance so far from the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and this dominance is something that we haven't seen this year. This isn't a almost Michigan Big Ten run the ball down a team's throat style dominance, which we've seen from the Bulldogs. It's an Alabama dominance. I'm going to throw the ball down the field however I want. I'm going to score however I want on you, and you're just going to have to accept that.
The Bulldogs have done well in the running game, in the passing game. Really, they have 200-plus passing yards at halftime. I don't know if we've seen one game total, not just a half, where they've had maybe even 150 passing yards, and tonight they have over 200 at halftime, and of course the running game with Max Kernick and a few reps with Braden Scott. It's been incredible tonight. I want to say, Braden, I just told you this right before we went live again. Chase Horton, I want to see him play. I'm really excited to see him play. He's warming up down there on the sideline as we get set for the second half.
They say Horton hears a who, but here on the field, Horton hears maybe a touchdown or two.
That was a good one, a good word choice. Just kind of like me in the first half saying slicing through the Slicers defense.
I would say so. We're dominant in the English language here in the booth.
So 35-0 is your halftime score. Again, if you were just joining us, I'm Gabe Trevino. He's Braydon Zamojski. 35-0 is your lead right now for the Crown Point Bulldogs. The Bulldogs looking for 7-0 on the year, 5-0 in the DAC. The LaPorte Slicers have improved this season, still 2-4 and getting dominated right now. I mean, their offense has looked well in flashes. Their defense has even looked well in flashes. Their special teams has probably looked the best so far. I don't think it's going to be enough to overcome 5 possessions.
Yeah, Gabe, and going to our keys of the game, right, it was for Crown Point to entice custody, specifically to control the game. It was for the D-line to get pressure on the quarterback, and once again, these DBs to play to their abilities. And I think we've hit all 3 of those on the head. We've seen them go to more of a passing look than a rushing look. The Bulldogs, after at the beginning of the season having a game where they rushed for over 300 yards, now look to be switching to a air raid offense, especially with Caden Smith and Logan Urbanek.
And they've played really well. Urbanek has 2 touchdowns. Caden Smith has a touchdown. He's ran away from everyone on the Slicers defense. I think we said, let's make Tice Custody win the game if we're LaPorte. I wouldn't say Tice Custy's had to win the game so far, being up 35-0. Running the ball, Crown Point's been completely fine. They haven't had to throw the ball. But again, weaker opponent. We'll see what they do against the Fort Wayne team or an Indy team. But so far, Tice Custy and Cooper Mulaski, for that matter, they've played incredibly well passing the ball.
Yeah, and I think on this defense, the Crown Point defense, we talked about game planning and game tape, but this is a defense that has done everything perfectly. They know exactly what LaPorte's concept is. Reed Raymond is a guy that has been contained all game, and I think that is something to point out as a reason why the Bulldogs are straight dominating the Slicers.
Yeah, their star player, Reed Raymond, has played not so well tonight, and it's really not his fault. I think it's more the Crown Point defense just dominating the LaPorte Slicers so far, and Devin Wagner to kick off once again, and we will have a running clock the whole second half.
Yes, try to get some of the bleeding to be stopped. Maybe a chance to get home a little early if you're these Crown Point students who have cleared out the student section now in this second half.
So here come the Slicers on another return, which they've done well so far. Broken tackle here all the way out to the 25 for Jameer Blash on that return. And the clock will continue to run with the Bulldogs up 35-0 here to start the second half. The backup defense coming out for the Bulldogs, and mainly backups. We'll get to see who stays in. It looks like Carson Whitham. I see Griffin Van Tischel trying to pump him up down there on the sideline. A.J. Summers in that huddle with their defensive coordinator, Sean Granger, and, of course, Coach Pazia involved in every huddle, being the head coach for this Bulldogs team.
Gabe, we had the privilege, for those of you who were not joining us for game night before the game, we talked with Coach Clint Swan of the basketball team and then the new girls flag football coach, Gabby Argenta, and both of them talked.
Penziel's going to go deep here. That one is incomplete, just overthrew his man. A great throw from Penziel to Wyatt Mazur, and that one is incomplete. That would have maybe even gone for a touchdown there, Braydon. Great throw from Penziel, just overthrown by maybe a yard.
Dude, that was the break they needed, but back to my point, they talked about the mentality of Crown Point Athletics as a win-first mentality, and I think, right, we've seen it here tonight, 35-0 early in this third quarter.
35-0 is your score. About 10 minutes to go now with a running clock here in the second half. If you're just joining us, here on the Bulldog Network, I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Braydon Zamojski. Penziel to roll out to throw once again. He's got his guy, Matz, takes a big hit from Oscar Biasi, who remains in the game here in the second half, with Garrett Ortiz being one of the stars that remains out there, as well as Steve Pantelik. And that will be a pickup of another first down for the Slicers offense. And Braydon, again, we've seen flashes here, kind of like right there. Great throw from Penziel, great catch, but they just got to stay consistent to it.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen that all season, right? Teams will play a good couple plays, but then every time they're reset, it's for 6 or 7 yards, maybe sometimes 10 yards.
1st and 10 from their 37-yard line. Clark comes right around the edge, but Reed gets away from him, and Reed Raymond's going to take off. He's going to drag Biasi with him, still going all the way down inside the 30-yard line. Reed Raymond takes off for his biggest run of the night, and that's a burst that he has been looking for all night, Braydon.
We saw the Slicers show life late in the half. They show life here with Reed Raymond, who I talked about as was getting contained just a couple minutes ago, right before play started in the third quarter. But, I mean, he seems to have broken past the secondary there, which is exactly what the Slicer team needs.
1st and 10 all the way down inside the 28. The Slicers got all the way down to the 3 and couldn't punch it in. It's going to go out to Matz once again. He's going to break a tackle. Matz is going to go down the sideline, cuts inside all the way down to the 10-yard line. So the Slicers, I believe, will have 1st and goal once again, and they're back inside, to the 10-yard line for the second time tonight.
Last time these Slicers were in the red zone in a very good scoring opportunity, they stalled out and got nothing. So we'll see if they can convert here on a sort of JV backup varsity defense here for the Bulldogs.
few of the starters do remain in. Carson Cavalcante in their corner. They're going to go right up the middle. Reed Raymond dragging a few guys with him down to the 3-yard line. This is where they're at with their drive before the half and could not punch it in with a few penalties, a few negative plays as the clock winds down under 8 minutes.
Now, Gabe, I do have a question for you here. Does the fact that Biasi and Cavalcante have stayed in the game for so long develop worry within you that there is not a younger guy that Bazia trusts to put in a game where it's 35-0?
Flag is down. I mean, to answer that question, yeah, I mean, it could be a cause for concern. I think, obviously, you're not going to see those guys, the backup JV guys, in bigger games. But, yes, it could be a cause for concern. So it'll be an encroachment penalty on the Bulldogs, which moves LaPorte just a little bit closer now, down to around the 1. Raymond looking for the end zone for the 7th time this year. Would be the first touchdown for the Slicers tonight. About a 5-minute drive here. Penzia will hand it off to Reed Raymond. Goes right up the gut, and Reed Raymond is in for LaPorte's score. He finally finds the end zone, found some daylight on that drive with a big run up the middle, and he gets in for LaPorte's first touchdown of the night.
So LaPorte, they've had an interesting season, Gabe. They started out early in the year, about week 3, lost to a very good Lowell Red Devils team who we dominated against, but Lowell has been very good in their own conference, the Northwest Crossroads Conference, and they are undefeated in there. But then LaPorte kind of bounces back 2 weeks ago, beats Lake Central. So this LaPorte team not looking too bad, especially for LaPorte historically as a football program.
Enrique Gonzalez to kick the extra point for the first time tonight for the Slicers, and he boots that one up and through, and that one is good. So the Slicers will finally get on the board. They get 7 points, and it's 35-7 with just under 7 minutes to go. Clock does stop for scores, but will remain running as soon as this offense gets right back onto the field. And this kickoff team for LaPorte, only the 2nd time that they've been out there.
So if you want a BZ fun fact here in this 3rd quarter, it might be the fact that LaPorte doesn't necessarily have a single kicker. They have played over 4 players, I believe, kicking between field goals, kickoffs, punts, things of that nature, where Crown Point has mainly run a one-man band with Oliver Brewer obviously going down with an injury. We do not know what that injury is, but he's been out for the past couple weeks, so we've kind of seen other guys come in. But unlike Crown Point, since Oliver Brewer came in as a freshman, for them to run multiple people kicking the football.
Yeah, and Devin Wagner's been doing kickoff duties in his absence, as well as Carson Cavalcante. Kason Muniz, who's not had the punt tonight so far for the Bulldogs, is at punter duties for them tonight. Conrad Misowicz is back on to kick for only the 2nd time tonight after LaPorte's first score. They kicked off to start the game, and now to kick off after a score, 2nd time for him. And the Bulldogs set back to return, and it's not your typical Dominic Finn and Griffin Van Tischelt back there with now a 4-possession lead. This will be Ethan Zilkowski to return, and he comes out to the 20, 25. He's tackled just inside the 30-yard line, so we will get to see Chase Horton for the first time, at least with our own eyes, here up in the booth at Crown Point Stadium. He will come on to the field on offense for the first time.
We've seen Chase Horton selectively in games. He's come in for maybe 1 or 2 plays. I think the most plays he played in a game was around 8 in a game so far this year. So, I mean, early here in the 3rd quarter, we should see consecutive Chase Horton minutes and get a good grip of him as a quarterback. He's only a sophomore. He'll be a junior next year.
So Chase Horton in at quarterback. They're going to go to Lou Tiawan here on the carry. Leaps over a LaPorte defender. Violent running there. Gains about 6 on the play. Chase Horton 5 for 8 for 67 yards and a touchdown so far this year. Again, has not gotten many reps, but in the reps he's gotten, he has not played too bad. I mean, 5 for 8 for 67 and a touchdown. That's a great drive there for Chase Horton. I mean, obviously it was over multiple drives, but if you see that stat line on a drive, even just one game, that's a great stat line, especially for a sophomore quarterback who's not gotten a lot of reps. They're going to go back to T1 here. He's going to go up the middle, lower his shoulder into a few LaPorte defenders. Gains about 4 yards. That'll be another first down pickup for the Bulldogs as the clock keeps winding.
Lou Tijuan's older brother played in the original Coach Buzz era with J.J. Johnson as his quarterback. That was an elite backfield for Crown Point, and Lou playing with a very similar play style as his brother, very physical, trying to run through a guy rather than around him.
Chase Horton again in the gun, going to go back to T1. T1's going to take off down the sideline. There goes Lou T1. He's going to run away from everyone just like Caden Smith earlier. He will not be chased down. Lou T1 runs that one in from 56 yards out.
Lou carrying on the family name there. I just talked about his brother who was a dog here at Crown Point. Lou Tijuan pulling away from everyone on the 41-yard touchdown.
Back on to kick is Carson Cavalcante. Lou Tijuan with a big run. And now the Bulldogs back up by 5 possessions. Lou Tijuan takes off for a 50-plus yard run, 56 yards to be exact, in his first touchdown of the year. And that kick is good, so Cavalcante remains perfect. And that is yet another big run on the ground for the Bulldogs. 42-7 is now the score as the clock stops once more. I mean, LaPorte took maybe 6 minutes off the 5 minutes off the clock, and the Bulldogs take about 2.5.
Yeah, we've seen this Crown Point offense this game get efficient. And they've had drives that have been under 2 minutes, around 2 minutes. And I think that's why, I mean, we keep saying, right, that first half felt forever, but it's just because Crown Point scored 5 scores in the first half.
35-0 was the score at halftime. Now, back-to-back possessions. LaPorte comes out, they score. Crown Point comes out, and Lou Tijuan takes off for 56 yards. His first touchdown of the season. Has gotten some reps at running back so far this year, but has not gotten a touchdown. He just got his first of the season. Devin Wagner, the freshman, once again to boot this kickoff away. And Chase Horton did not have to throw a pass on that drive. I think me and you, Braydon, both share that, excitement. We want to see Chase Horton throw the ball, see what he can do for the future of this program at quarterback.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for him. Obviously, the 2 main guys at quarterback are both only juniors right now, Tice Custy and Cooper Mulaski. So you got to think it's going to be until his senior year until he's going to be the starter, unless something unfortunate happens to the other 2 guys.
Jameer Blash on another good return all the way out to around the 33-yard line. Again, special teams has been good for LaPorte. And besides that last drive, offense has not been great. Defense hasn't been great all night. But I guess if LaPorte was to take away one positive, it would be their special teams. Reed Raymond and Jameer Blash with 2 each good returns so far, and Raymond with a few more than that, 4 returns for him so far. But I think every single one except one has gone out across the 30-yard line.
Yeah, and I think past that, just Reed Raymond as a highlight of this game in general, and then Aiden Panzel, who is the quarterback for this LaPorte team. I mean, just the 2 of them in this backfield has ultimately been the highlight for me.
Penziel has time to throw here. He's going to go towards a sideline, and Yeager nearly tracks that one down. Matz was his intended target. Overthrew that one out of bounds. And we are now running under 3.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. If you're just joining us here on the Bulldog Network, I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Braydon Zamojski. 42-7. Your 6-0 Crown Point Bulldogs lead the 2-4 LaPorte Slicers by 5 scores. We're up 35-0 at halftime. So now we have a running clock here for the whole second half. Mainly backups in on defense. A few starters out there still on defense for the Bulldogs. And it seems to be all backups out there on offense for the Bulldogs. But for now, the Slicers are out on offense. Reed Raymond breaks a tackle. He's going to get outside. Bounces off a few red jerseys. Flag comes in late. And that's a gain of about 8 on the play. I think I saw a flag fly. Maybe it was something else that I saw fly on the play. Gain of, call it 6 on the play for Reed Raymond.
Yeah, Reed Raymond's just been outstanding for the Bulldogs. And I want to mention that the Bulldogs are not a punt on offense at all. So Casey Muniz and Colton Brown, the long snapper, not seeing the field at all tonight. Basically, cheerleaders there on the sideline.
Just resting his leg for the time being. Raymond trying to chew up yards here, only gains 1. LaPorte has got to 4th and 3 here, and we have not seen them go for it on 4th down yet, except for the one at the 20-yard line right before half, which did not end up well. And it's 4th and 3. You'd assume LaPorte would go for this one. Now winding under 2 minutes. We actually see Amir Plowden wandering the sidelines down there in a gray shirt, not padded up. It seems maybe he has an ice pack on his shoulder.
I can't get a read on who that player is, but Amir Plowden is in his gear. But it does look like there is a player on the sideline.
We can't tell who it is. It looks like Amir Plowden down there on the sideline, but we will not speculate on that. Maybe it's Josh Daniels, one of the guys. They look very similar, by the way. I had a class with Josh Daniels, and they were walking together, Amir Plowden and Josh Daniels, to my English class. I couldn't tell the difference. I was like, Josh? Amir? Which one? Who are you guys? So I don't know, but we will not speculate on that. A minute to go here in the third quarter. 1st and 10 at the 44. Going to go outside. Yeager right there, along with Cesar Casanova to make the tackle. A gain of nothing. 2nd and 10 for the Slicers.
LaPorte just trying to get anything on the board here, like I said earlier, which was actually in the second quarter, just trying to make the scorecard look a little less bad for teams who may have you next week on the schedule.
So 2nd and 10 at the 44. 30 seconds to go. Likely will be the last play of the third quarter. Penziel back to throw. He's going to look in trouble, rolling out, and he is taken down by Carson Whitham in the backfield. Whitham chases him down for his first sack of the season, and that is a loss of about 12, call it all the way back to 14, maybe 15 yards lost on that play. And here we go, Braydon. We can call this one 3rd in a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, I think that will designate that as a Walmart parking lot.
And that will do it for the third quarter. 42-7 is your score. The Bulldogs lead the LaPorte Slicers. We will head to a quick break here. Stay with us for fourth quarter action here on the Bulldog Network.
At Crown Point High School, we are a connected community. The larger we grow, the stronger we become, because at our core are values that guide us.
What does it mean to be part of our Bulldog community?
It means courage, facing adversity head on, leading with grit, and knowing that every setback is a step forward.
Crown Point taught me not to be afraid to try something new.
It means creativity, from center stage to classroom labs. It is where passion meets purpose and innovation takes shape. Bulldogs bring ideas to life. It means citizenship, giving back, lifting others, building a stronger community together.
Our students learn that leadership begins with service.
It means culture, every story, every background, every voice, adding to our shared experience. It means being future ready, With more than 20 career pathways, 60 dual credit and AP courses, and preparation for college, career, or service.
I know Crown Point is helping me get where I want to go.
And through it all, we stay connected. With more than 75 clubs, sports, and activities, there's a place for everyone. Every classroom, every activity, every team. Woven together into one community. Crown Point High School, where the heart of a Bulldog stays with you, ready to take on the world. Connected at our core.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Network. I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Braydon Zamojski. The start of the fourth quarter here between your 6-0 Crown Point Bulldogs and the 2-4 LaPorte Slicers. 42-7 is your score. The Bulldogs do lead the Slicers, looking for 7-0 on the season, 5-0 in the DAC. In between our break and some play, the Slicers had the punt once again, and the Bulldogs will start at the 20-yard line with the clock now running near under 10 minutes to go.
Now the Slicers actually tried to stretch the field out to Callan Mask. And he tried to corral that in with one hand. Two Crown Point defensive backs on his tail, was unable to corral that ball in, but could have been a game changer for them if he had been able to catch that football.
Horton's going to hand another ball off. I know we want to see him throw the ball, but we have not gotten to see that yet. And Cesar Torres, the freshman, was in on that carry. We have R.J. Ford out there, who's also a freshman. Ethan Zilkowski and Kingston Connolly, wide receiver, both juniors. And Ty Kennedy out there, who has one catch for 14 yards so far this season. He is a sophomore. So this is really the future here. And then a whole backup offensive line, which I'll go through in a second, with obviously Chase Horton for throwing the ball for the first time here, and Ford down the sideline. And some of the fans wanted a flag here. We can hear them on that crowd mic we have. And that one is incomplete. 2nd and 8 now. Excuse me, 3rd and 8 for the Bulldogs.
Now looking ahead at the schedules for both teams, LaPorte is going to have to go regroup and take on the Michigan City Wolves, normally a valiant team here in the DAC, tough opponent.
And they've been better this year, Michigan City has.
Yeah, they've been, I mean, the past couple years they've had talent. So it's going to be good matchup for LaPorte, and then your Bulldogs will take on the Chesterton Trojans.
We unfortunately will not have that game broadcasted. It will be in Chesterton, so we will not have that game broadcasted here on the Bulldog Network.
But you already know that I will do my due diligence, everything in my power to make it to that game.
So running to about 8 minutes to go now. Horton the throw for the second time. He has his man Ty Kennedy wide open, and Kennedy will get out across the 30 for a first down. Nice 9-yard pickup. And Horton has his first complete pass of the game. And the Slicers defense just trying, I guess, to contain the offense at this point as the clock keeps running.
Gabe, shortly after that play, I looked down on the sideline, and Amir Plowden was getting chased by a little kid. Just some fun here in Crown Point, Indiana, as we near the end of this matchup.
By the way, I've noticed Coach Buzz for the whole second half, not just this quarter, as this one goes to Lou Tijuana as he jumps over a man. Gets out to around the 39-yard line, so a gain of 7 for him. Coach Buzz has not had his headset on all second half, not just third quarter, not just fourth quarter. He took it off right before halftime, and he has not put it on since.
There's a chance that you'll see a lot of these coaches not have headsets on for the rest of this game, which is something that we saw a lot last year. The coaches will kind of not talk to the box and keep things down low if they're up big in a game.
So 2nd and 3 now for the Bulldogs. Clock keeps winding. Horton's going to go play action. The Tijuana throws down the middle of the field, and that's Alex Rodriguez, who makes his first catch of the night out to the 46-yard line. And And the offensive line for the Bulldogs in right now from left to right: Logan Deeb, Kaysen Muniz, Zaid Tadros, Bryce Toure, and Logan Howard, who got the start a few weeks ago against Maryville for a hurt Austin Reading. He is now back, of course, not playing right now, but started the game.
Austin Reading's injury was almost right once again, almost like the Emir Platten situation. We thought it was going to be detrimental, but Logan Howard, big guy, strong guy, have A push class.
Well.
Yeah, have A push class with him, talented guy, smart kid, and then he held his ground there playing offensive or varsity football, excuse me.
Yeah, man, that A push class, not easy.
No, it is not.
Miss Luck's great teacher, but man, that is a tough class, tough AP class. Good class to have friends in.
Yes, yes it is.
So we run now over halfway through the fourth quarter. 2nd and 9, Horton in the gun. Tiawan to his right. He's going to go play action, throw over the middle of the field, and he just misses his man, R.J. Ford. That one's incomplete, so 3rd and long now for the Crown Point Bulldogs.
Now, Gabe, I don't know if you noticed, you're probably following the ball, but during that throwing motion, Horton had pressure toward his blind side. He looked over, saw the pressure, and just didn't move. How often do you see a quarterback see pressure, stand their ground, and just go into their throwing motion?
By the way, how often do you see a young quarterback not get antsy in the pocket and try and get rid of the ball quick?
Yeah.
That's a good point you made.
He didn't shift his feet, nothing. He was ready to take that hit, but he still wanted to deliver that football out.
3rd and 9, play action, has time, backs up, throws a little high. Kingston Connolly makes a nice catch. It'll be just short of the line to gain. And it'll be 4th and 1. You assume Coach Buzz would go for this one here. He may not even be calling plays right now with no headset, so maybe it's up to the players right now. Who knows? We don't know what's going down.
Might have Oliver. I think I see Oliver Brewer on the sideline calling the play right now. I'm just kidding, of course, all of the people watching at home, but it almost seems that way, right, Gabe?
4th and 1 from the LaPorte 46. They will go to a run play here, and Lou Tiawan will pick up that first down easily. The clock will keep running here as the Bulldogs move the sticks, maybe trying to get another touchdown here with their backup offense. Clock will continue to run down to about 4 minutes. Kingston Connolly had math class with him last year. Excellent guy. He just made a nice catch on the sideline. Andy and Ben Keller have been switching in and out. R.J. Ford, Ty Kennedy, Alex Rodriguez, who is a senior, but he's been getting reps with some of the backups, comes in and out sometimes with the starters. Horton to throw again. It's going to be a screen to Rodriguez as I call his name, and Rodriguez breaks the tackle. Alex Rodriguez taking off all the way down inside the 20. We call his name, they call his number, and he gets all the way down to the 15-yard line.
Alex Rodriguez, an interesting case for this Bulldogs offense, plays as a varsity starter when they go 3 wide receivers, but also in here late in the game where he seems to be the starting receiver, the deep threat in these late game situations where he gets a lot of targets.
And you said 3 wide receiver set. The reason why you ladies and gentlemen don't see him a lot is because we don't run 3 wide receiver sets. We rely on the run game. The Dogs with Gurnick and Scott rely on the run game, and Tiawan lost his own footing, and we call that the old turf monster. Got him, tripped him up there, lost it too.
The turf monster, famous victims include Daniel Jones.
I remember watching that play live. That was a interesting play. I went from shouting like, whoa, what's going on? And then I went to like, what just happened?
What's going on to what's going on in 2 different contexts.
And then Lou Tiawan, the turf monster just got him there, so backed him up to around the 19. 2:40 to go, play action. Horton will throw over the middle. That's Kingston Connolly. He takes a hit over the middle, makes the catch inside the 10-yard line to around the 9. So it's going to be 3rd down, even though they are inside the 10. Trying to punch one more in.
Interesting story about Kingston Connolly. We went to preschool together, Gabe, and we hanging out at each other's houses almost every weekend. Really good kid. Kind of grew up with him in that sense.
Horton will go handoff here to Tiawan. I almost thought that was play action. A good fake by Horton. And a gain of maybe 1. It looks like they're going to spot him just short of the line to gain. Now winding under 2 minutes, so we're going to call this one, we'll call it 4th and less than 1/4 in inches, we can say. And we run under 2 minutes to go as Connolly checks out for Anderson Keller. You'd assume they go back to T1 here, right?
I absolutely think they're going to go to T1 here. I mean, power running back, as long as he doesn't get his foot eaten by
The
little
turf monster.
guy in the turf, then I think we're fine.
They're going to go back to T1. T1, good tackle made in the backfield, but he may have just gotten enough to pick
Actually,
it up.
don't think he got it, Gabe. Well, they do say he
It will
did.
be a first down, and maybe the Bulldogs do kneel it out here after picking up probably that final first down of the night. Horton, the offense, waiting the call from the sideline. But that could do it. A Lou T1 1-yard first down run could be it for them. Looks like they will run another play now. Under 1 minute to play. T1 still in the backfield. Rodriguez and Ford at wide out, but it will be a kneel down for Chase Horton. And they will run one more play here to end off a dominant performance. Up 42-7. And they will finish off yet another conference win, to move to 5-0 in the conference and move to 7-0 overall. The Slicers drop to 2-5 on the season and will drop to 1-4 in the conference.
Yeah, big win by Crown Point here. And sometimes when you're facing off an opponent like the Dogs, that's just the way the cookie crumbles here. And it's a big win for the Bulldogs.
So the Crown Point Bulldogs finish up a big 42-7 win over the LaPorte Slicers. They will face the Chesterton Trojans next week, followed by the Michigan City Wolves. The LaPorte Slicers will play the Michigan City Wolves next week on their schedule, but a dominant all-around win. And I think a win for us up here in the press box too, Braydon. We hit really on all the keys to the game, at least the keys that we thought were going to be to the game, and we hit on really all of them.
Yeah, we've been doing absolutely amazing in our scouting report this week and last week. Our keys, I don't know if you want to go over them one more time for the people at home, but it was the DBs have to play effectively, the D-line has to get to the quarterback, and Tice Custody has to win the game. And I think we can almost extend that out to Tice Custody, Cooper Mulaski, and Chase Horton. We saw all three in action today.
And we saw all three quarterbacks who all played well, all got a chance to throw the ball. Chase Horton got to throw the ball a few times. Mulaski came in his first two throws were 2 touchdowns. And, of course, Tice Custody, who started the game, played excellent as well. And I think, we thought that LaPorte maybe would be closer, so they'd have to force Tice Custody to win the game. I don't know if Custody was forced to win this game because the ground game was absolutely dominant. That was also a key to the game that we also hit on for LaPorte. They had to stop the run game, and they didn't, which ultimately I think was the biggest reason for their downfall.
Yeah, I think we talked about how Crown Point hit their keys of the game. I don't think LaPorte hit any of theirs. They did not start early. They did not contain the ground game. And they just struggled all game offensively. It's the same story that we've seen from teams that have played Crown Point. It's always 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, of that nature. I think that's really what plagued the Slicers here today.
Yeah, and we've seen that a common theme of Crown Point's opponents. We saw that with Maryville, with the 18 penalties they had. We saw that with Valpo, with the 7 interceptions they had. And we saw it with LaPorte with really everything. There wasn't any interceptions. I don't even believe LaPorte turned the ball over at all, but they gave up 3 sacks, which, again, we hit on another key to the game. Got to get to the quarterback. Crown Point did. 3 sacks is a game high for this Bulldog team. And LaPorte, again, just did not hit on what they needed to do. And to start early, they didn't do that either. Crown Point got out to a 14-0 lead, I believe, in under 4 minutes to start the game, so they didn't get off to an early start. And that begs the question, after a dominant performance like this, who can maybe give the Dogs a realistic shot, run for their money?
I'm looking 2 weeks ahead. We're going to be at home. It's going to be the week of fall break for Crown Point High School. That's Michigan City, the Wolves. They are always a sort of quiet contender in the DAC. Never at the top, but surely not in the bottom half. They are always a talented team, always have talented players. The question is going to be for the Wolves, will they play as a team, or will they seek individual success trying to beat the Bulldogs?
And I think I'd pick team success with the way Coach Buzz coaches this team. They've done an excellent job so far this season. The Bulldogs moved to 7-0 on the season, 5-0 in the DAC. The LaPorte Slicers dropped to 2-5 overall and 1-5 in the conference. Their only conference win being against the Lake Central Indians, who these Bulldogs beat 42-0 on the road. That game you were at got some great footage for us. And we welcome you back to the booth. I'm Gabe Trevino, and he is Braydon Zamojski. For the final time, the Bulldogs finished up yet another huge win, 42-7 here at home. They will go to Chesterton next week on the road and then come back here at home for Michigan City. A total dominant all-around win for the Crown Point Bulldogs. 42-7 is your final score. That will do it for us on the Bulldog Network. We thank everyone working behind the scenes. From Braydon Zamojski, I'm Gabe Trevino, saying good night from Crown Point.